Zoro man is like the thing.
It's like, yo,
Why do you
Zoro.
keep saying the thing? What do you think? What is the thing, bro? I'm just ready spoilers, man. Jesus Christ. It's gonna be the funniest shit next week.
I'm like, I thought I was a few chapters behind. Apparently, I'm like a year behind.
What? You're here, yeah? What?
Yeah, a year's worth of that. Like,
So you're probably still at when they just started the invasion?
yeah, it's pretty early. I think
Pretty early?
yeah, it's
Okay.
pretty early in the invasion. I didn't even want to. I didn't want to say because you may say something that may spoil, so I don't want to say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You may be
Yeah,
like,
no, I'm only
I'll
at
leave it
chapter
alone.
447.
Lando may be like, oh, so after this guy did this, I'm like, no, I'm not there yet. Froob,
Hmm.
you awake, man?
Yeah, what's up?
I'm just saying, you ready to talk about the greatness that is One Piece?
Let's get
Yep.
it.
I'm just going through these chapters and looking for some stuff right now. That's why I'm not talking.
Are you making a theory?
No, I'm not making a theory. I'm just
Yeah,
seeing
his
if my
channel's
theory,
about to be popping.
just seeing if my theory corroborates with
We're
the panels.
gonna see a random channel blow up out of nowhere with bounty videos called Froob Loops.
Oh, Froob first video was pretty funny. The title was funny.
It was good.
Froob reacting to Dustin reacting to Steve reacting to what?
Yeah.
Some shit like that. That was ridiculous.
Froob started off with a bang. I thought it was gonna be like a every other chapter thing. We got that, and that was it.
I'm ready right now, but I'm just trying. Do you remember what chapter it was where they talked about like the Kozuki clan 20 years ago or some shit like that?
I think
I'm
that was
not
in
sure.
Wano.
Yeah.
In Wano or outside of Wano?
Yeah, no, I'm looking through the chapters. I can't find it.
Oh, you trying to match a timeline? You trying to dispute what's the name? Marco's theory.
No, I'm not trying to dispute it. I think that it's true, but I just think that he got it. I think he got it wrong slightly.
Let's talk about it. What do you think you got wrong?
Well, I mean, I don't even understand what his actual theory is, to be honest. But like what he actually means, like he thinks that Wano is in like a completely separate timeline or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think that's true. I think it's more of a thing to where like the easiest example I can give is like Wano is like some like type of hyperbolic time chamber to where like the time is slower on Wano compared to the outside world, and that kind of like accounts for like a lot of the things like Momo seeing Roger and Thomas seeing Ace and things like that. Even though Thomas seeing Ace wasn't like a huge thing, like you can definitely like see that it was probably true. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. I think that it makes perfect sense, especially since like the way that they got there was through like the whatever, the sunken hole, whatever the hell it's called,
Vagina.
whirlpool.
The
Yeah, the
world.
vagina. Yeah, so like I don't know. I definitely think that there's something interesting about Wano. I don't know exactly what it is, but I think that it accounts for a lot of the things that are weird because I think like the theory that like Momo is actually like an old person is like retarded and
You think he's an
I-
old person?
well no that's okay the thing is ever since he saw Momo say that he saw Roger, there have been like tons of theories and shit like that, like trying to like figure out what Momo was talking about when he said that he remembers seeing Roger.
Yeah.
And some of the theories were like really dumb, like oh Bonnie made him younger, and some of them were like oh he's actually like old. I don't know, but there was just a bunch of like stupid theories in my opinion about how like he's actually like older than he looks,
Yeah.
and I think that's like a terrible. I don't think that makes sense whatsoever.
It's weird, but I feel like with the One Piece chapters, they've been I don't know. I don't want to say dying a lot faster than usual recently, but I haven't heard a lot of clamor around them.
No, you could say that. I think that's fine to say.
You know, like typically it'd be like discussion in the Reverie chat and the BDA chat, and just I mean I haven't talked on Discord about the recent chapters, but it hasn't been
Are you talking about conversation in the Discord or conversation overall?
conversation overall. I haven't seen that many videos on the recent chapters at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't seen a lot of live reactions. I haven't seen a lot of discussions.
Even like live reaction reviews, like across the board, the views are down on everything.
Definitely,
Oh
100%.
boy,
Yeah.
just you checked. Mm.
Well,
100%.
Roger was talking to us about it before.
Yeah,
Like that's one of the reasons like he moved his stuff to Monday, is because one he's like afraid of like the Viz, like Shueisha coming for him.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
But the other is the fact that the way Wano is right now, it's not really getting many views because nothing's really happening. So it's
Yes.
kind of like the right time to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I have an explanation for why it's not really. I'm generating so many buzz.
What is it?
I mean, we've already talked about all these possibilities before we even get to
Yeah.
Wano. At this point, it seems as if someone competent doesn't come up like Jack and Calamity, it seems that there's no challenge, and as a result, the story can't really grow as though the fans want it to grow. For me,
Well, I mean,
it's been amazing, but for them, I could see why they're kind of
You think it's been amazing?
yeah. So far, yeah, the build up, yeah.
I think it's been really. I think it's been good. I think it's been good. I've enjoyed Wano so far. I'm not expecting too much from Wano just because we just got there and I know it's going to be insane build up.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the thing is it's the community that we're in, right? Because we can say, all right, a lot of people don't like the recent chapters, but it's like from what I see, when you talk bad about the chapters, most of the comments are like, what are you talking about? It's more negative comments when you do that. So when I say people don't like that, aren't enjoying the chapters, I feel like the people that we're kind of surrounded by aren't liking the chapters. But I guess
Okay.
offline, people that are just reading the chapters and not discussing it every single day, it's been fine. Are sales down? I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think
no, I
so.
don't think sales are down. What
Yeah.
what the Reverie volume just got released, right?
Yeah.
That was like pooped on everyone else.
Yeah,
during, like,
I
the
saw
week
those
of sales.
numbers. It was like,
It was like ridiculous. It
it
was
was
like 8 times more
absurd.
than the next person or something.
But yeah, more than number two. I was like, wow.
But no, I think Lando actually brought up a good point because I mean, I haven't been around for that long, but I don't think there's ever been an arc where it's been talked to death before it began.
Yeah, so kind of expectations are kind of through the roof.
Well, it's like this is kind of what happens whenever you hype up an arc and basically give details to what's going to happen within it. Because everything that people want to talk about, people have been talking about since before Whole Cake Island. And
That's
so
right.
whenever we're not at those plot points that we know are coming, we're just waiting for them. It makes everything else that comes before it less interesting.
You're right, because there are probably a lot of videos out there on like what's Wano, Shogun, all that different stuff. So right now, it's like, what do you talk about in Wano? Do you talk about
Yeah, I
how
mean, it's like-
strong Okiku is? Do you talk about the other headliners? Like, what's really interesting right now?
And
To really
like
delve
the
into?
thing is, like with Wano, like right now, we aren't actually in the plot yet. Like Oda's been spending a long time like before the plot of the arc that we know is coming is going to be like fully aware in the protagonists.
Yeah.
Because like we're in a build up phase, but we all know what it's going to be. So it's not like we're curious or anything.
Damn.
Because I think many people kind of lost the idea that we're in a section of Wano. We aren't in the era where I would imagine everything would go down. We're
Yeah.
still in Corey.
Yeah, we're still. It's building. It's building, and I think that's something that you guys make a good point. Because it's been discussed. I was somebody commented on one of my videos I made. It was a stream, I think like a year and a half ago, in which it was like, should we be hyped for Wano? And for like 3 hours, we talked about Wano. Right? And for like 3 hours, talked about Wano. Because I think that's when the editors came out, was like, yo, Wano's gonna be this and that and third. And it's kind of like, yo, let's talk about it. And I think at the same time, that came out about the lurking legend and all that shit. Talked about it. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, it's kind of like, what's there? You know what I'm saying? What, like, I don't know. An interesting topic right now around Wano would probably be, is Draka Calamity, or how strong
Or
is
about,
Hold'em? Is Hold'em done?
Ocean tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, like when you think about those topics, when you compare them to what we've already been talking about, they're kind of boring in comparison. So
Yeah.
maybe people are kind of less tempted to talk about them because they're just like, well, I know Jack's gonna be here eventually, so this Hold'em guy's just not doing it for me or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it kind of defeats the purpose of the
You're right.
character.
I mean, it's like I said,
Um,
across the board, like views are down for One Piece in the YouTube community, and just again the interest in it right now just isn't there. But the thing is, My Hero is weird because My Hero has never really done well on YouTube or done amazing. I mean, you have certain channels that blow up for My Hero, right, and that's their focus. But generally, like just talking about My Hero doesn't automatically equate to like views, which is kind of
Yeah.
weird to me because it's super popular in the West, so you would think it would work, right? But it hasn't yet. Do you guys think that's something to come, or is just like
Well,
Oh, it'll definitely
it
grow,
depends
but
because go ahead, Froob.
no, it'll definitely grow. But you got to think that, like, when it comes to like reviews and live reactions and stuff like that,
mhm.
I don't think that really caters that much to casual fans that much, at least in general. I think if you're spending your time watching a bunch of like My Hero reactions and reviews, you're probably a pretty hardcore fan. I think
Mm.
in general, My Hero has a really like casual
Casual
fan
fan
base.
base?
Obviously, there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just
So you think so? That's why the videos, as far as explaining quirks and shit like that, it kind of those do a lot better than live reactions in a way because
right.
for the casuals that don't understand certain shit, like remember I did a full cow video another day, or a while ago, and that did really well, in which people like I guess they didn't really understand what full cow was after it aired in the anime. So
Well,
that's
another reason that it might not do that well on YouTube is that like, although there is some like mystery and stuff in My Hero, it's not like it's comparable to like One Piece or a lot of other series where like you have all these questions that you don't know when's
Right.
going to be answered. I don't feel like My Hero really has that. There are a few, like the trader thing, like that's one of the only theories I see talked about. And,
yeah.
like,
They got some popular ones as far as the trader, who's is Dabi, what's his name, Todoroki's brother. That's one of Endeavor's kids that he was trying to, create. Who's Deku's dad? Because they say Deku's dad is like a fire breather or whatever. But he just
yeah,
uses
there's
time in the
like a
story.
handful
Yeah,
of
it's a
things
handful.
to talk about, but
It's a
it's not
handful.
like maybe that's a result of like world building because that's something that I don't think My Hero really has is like necessarily really good world building.
Not yet. Not yet.
So it leaves you kind of you don't really have to ask questions, you just kind of enjoy it.
And the reason,
Also,
great for
I was gonna say to go, or no, just go on because I wanted to go back to something that you guys were talking about earlier.
what? Go ahead. It's fine.
Oh no, I was just saying I think part of the reason why views are down now is because Whole Cake Island kind of left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths.
Yeah.
Pause. um, um,
So it might be a
I
residual
think
effect.
that like when it comes to like a lot of like hype around Wano, people are like kind of hesitant to do a lot of that stuff because they don't want it to be like a huge disappointment, like a lot of people thought Whole Cake Island was.
I'm not gonna lie. The build up to a Whole Cake, it was crazy because I remember the beginning of Whole Cake. I was really excited. I was
Yeah.
really excited for Whole
Sure.
Cake. It felt different. It felt like okay, we're going here to the Yonko's territory. We have to be discreet. We know it's not gonna be that way, but we have to fight our way out in some way. I was like, man, I was really excited for Whole Cake. And then it just seems like it was just some missteps there in which it didn't really live up. It didn't really live up to the hype, and it was just, I mean, and because of some things on Whole Cake, I gotta say, I kind of tempered my expectations for Wano, which I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna go that crazy because you know how many theories we had for Whole Cake. We're like, yo, this is gonna happen. Yo, Sanji's gonna do this. Luffy's gonna do
Exactly.
this, and it doesn't even come close. And it's just like, damn. But I'm like, people always say, well, you guys shouldn't expect that much.
Yeah, I just don't think people are like trying to like go like super hardcore
Yeah.
into like analyzing a lot of stuff because I don't know, you got people like Drizzt is like the prime example of like fucking just black pilled to the absolute maximum, most pessimistic, like, oh yeah, no, Oda's not gonna do shit with this, blah 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 blah.
Goddamn right.
Yeah. I think it's one of those where it's like you feel like you've been screwed over, so you just like, I'm just
Yeah,
waiting to see.
I'm way more optimistic in the way that I think about Wano. So I'm
Is that 'cause
definitely
of
still
Zoro?
hyped with yeah. I'm definitely still hyped with a lot of the things that he's building up, but I can see how some people might think that he's pretty much building you think he's building shit up, but he might not like deliver with it.
I don't think I'm
Honest-
pessimistic right now. But I'm not necessarily optimistic. I'm just taking things as they come.
That's a good way. That's a good way to look at it.
What you think?
Honestly, for me, I don't believe there's a residual effect of disappointment coming from Whole Cake. I mean, the Reverie kind of bridged the two arcs, and that was amazing for most people. So I think many people might have increased their hope in Oda.
Yeah, but
I'm
like
afraid
there's
to
like a
start.
lot of like I don't know, I get this like vibe from talking to people on Discord and just seeing comments and just different streams and stuff like that, I get this vibe that like I don't know, like I think people just think like, oh, this fight's gonna be off screen. Oh, they're gonna skip this. It's just like they're like
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah.
like the way that the post time skip has kind of like been written, like they any sort of like exciting thing kind of gets like skipped over or like pushed to the side.
Brago, I heard
Like,
he said something on
We-
Brago, I heard he said something on Chan's channel about the best fight in One Piece being off screen. That's a kind of Aokiji.
yeah.
I never really looked at it. I never really looked at it that way. But when I think about it that way, it kind of gives me the impression that, well, if Oda can do that, what else can he do then?
Oh, like
If
I
he
said,
wants
Shanks and Blackbeard, that's definitely getting off screen.
Yeah, at first I, I, I couldn't fathom Oda off screen and put a fight like Shanks and Blackbeard. But when you phrase it out, Keith was a kind of fight in the way you phrase it, I'm kind of thinking, well, got a point.
That was a major fight. That was
That's a major that was the most
huge implications. Huge implications in that fight.
And off screen.
And we literally got highlights of it. Told to us like, hey, this is what happened. This person won. This is what it is. You know, and that should have been telling as far as like where we were going, as far as these things. I mean, in a situation like this, I'm not sure how you handle it as far as a fight like that, but I don't think that's something you should off screen. Like that's not something you don't show.
I don't really care about the Kainu Aokiji thing that much, but I think in general, not that I don't care about it. I shouldn't have said that. It was more kind of thing like I didn't expect to see it, so it's whatever.
Yeah.
But I think of like I think Oda blue balling us with like the clashes. I mean, personally, I don't care that much, but I'm just talking from a community perspective.
Yeah.
I think Oda blue balling everyone with the clashes and shit like that. That's kind of like getting to people, the point where they're not like super excited for a lot of like fights coming up because they think, oh, this is just gonna be a clash.
Yeah, I'd agree, Froob.
Yeah. I mean, even when we saw like Hawkins and Luffy and Zoro, people weren't as excited as I thought they would be. I was like, yo, this is kind of dope. We got the 3 supernovas. It was like, yeah, but it's not gonna do anything. And yeah, it's not gonna.
Yeah, people are slowly coming to the reality.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed it, but like I also knew that it wasn't gonna be a full on fight going into it.
Well, I think some people expected it because like in the previews for the previous chapter, like the preview leading up to that chapter was like a long time waiting. Like Luffy and Zoro finally team up again for the first time in the new world to do something.
Yeah.
And then like that didn't happen. People were like, oh.
Yeah, it was lackluster. What were you saying, Lando?
There's a theory in the community going around saying that Law might dispose of Hawkins.
Wow.
And I don't really support that. And I don't really support that because if Oda wanted to get rid of Hawkins, Zoro versus Luffy, exactly.
Yeah.
He was outnumbered. He was outpowered. If Oda wanted that to be done, it would have been way easier to justify having Luffy and Zoro.
Yep.
Taking care of the issue.
I agree with that. Like I said, maybe we see some attacks, some techniques go back and forth, or maybe we just see Law run away. Like, yeah, I found a way to get,
Dude, it's gonna be a dialogue. I'm telling you.
What's gonna happen? I guarantee what's gonna happen.
It's gonna be a dialogue.
It's gonna be exactly like Zoro versus Hawkins. It's probably gonna be like maybe 1 to 2 to perhaps even 3 clashes. They're gonna talk or something, and then perhaps Luffy and Zoro are running away.
Yeah.
Now, and they're gonna be Hawkins, and Luffy's gonna be like, oh, his nickname for Law, and then they're gonna grab Hawkins, and they're gonna grab Law, and then he's gonna leave.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason I think, like, the only reason you bring Hawkins to this point in time is like, you just don't do that for no reason. Like, it would be pointless to have Hawkins go out to search for Luffy and Zoro, find them, break off the fight between them, let them run away from him, and then have them decide to chase, meet Law. The fight is canceled again, and then he just like goes home. That would be weird.
Yeah.
I think the reason for that is like, it's just like allegiances. We've been talking for a while. Like, where does Hawkins stand? Maybe that will be hinted at as a result. I don't know. Outside of that, I mean, I can definitely tell you we're not getting defeated. Nothing's gonna happen there.
Regarding the environment that the Law is in, it's a bit empty. Do you think he roomed everyone out?
Oh.
No?
I don't know.
What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know. Let's try to go through this. I don't think this one's gonna be that long. But let's try to go. When we get to the Atlanta, we can talk about that. Cover
Yeah.
page, Bellamy drawing. He's drawing pirate flags.
I have a lot to say about that, bro.
Why do you have a lot to say? Go ahead.
You just made you're just
Go
you're
ahead,
just
Landon.
you're this major theory in the community that kind of goes like this. Well, he's creating an unbreakable flag for Luffy.
Okay.
Well, I don't want to be rude here or anything, but
Let me be rude.
the idea of the Grand Fleet and the idea of these characters going off on a journey and meet up with Luffy is that they're supposed to improve their combating ability, so when they come, they can be resourceful and powerful. I don't see how he contributes by making an unbreakable flag. I mean,
Wait, I
many
don't
people
understand.
are.
What do you mean unbreakable flag?
There's
Because in the cover
So
story,
basically,
a
the
title
idea
that
is, like,
says that
Whole Cake
there's
Island, their flag got torn up.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh,
no, they need a flag that can't be destroyed, so that'll never happen again.
yeah,
So
exactly.
that's
So
where
you
the
heard the
idea comes
theory
from.
to it.
in the cover story, Bellamy is drawing the Straw Hat Jolly Roger, and it has its unbreakable fabric.
Okay, so that's the entire theory. They're trying to say that this is his role now. Is it going to benefit the crew?
I'm assuming it's a Straw Hat Jolly Roger.
Yeah, I'm assuming the same as well.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe.
But I'm just saying, for a character like Bellamy, that's a waste of potential, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Well,
I
it could
mean,
have been a thing
we
too,
could
where
see
he
more.
wants to like make his like own like fresh start,
His own
like
crew,
like a new pirate crew with a fresh start,
probably.
and like to get away like from like his past, quote unquote.
I just think it's
Due to
clear.
how determined he's taking job, I think he's doing it because he passionately wants to make a flag for Luffy.
I think he's
I don't
clearing his
think
head
he-
right now. He's just taking a
Clearing his
step
head.
back, just staying away. But I think he's clearing his head. But we may see more of this cover story with Bellamy, so we'll see.
I hope so. It's more interesting than the Columbus one.
100%.
I'll tell you that.
All right, so this chapter starts in which they show us a bit of the harvest, right, from the Paradise Farm, from the far end of Bakra Town.
Mhm.
It shows that they gave this guy 5 pieces of silver for all this shit, and kind of giving us background on the provisions in Wano. Guys, have any thoughts on this page?
Not really.
On the first page, just I watched your review. You made a very good point about how Oda kind of contradicts himself in terms of the culture of Wano. So the first scene, the boy was crying.
Yeah.
Well, supposed to tighten up and be a warrior, but the next exact scene, the man does the opposite. He's very submissive in terms of him being fearful of his kid dying from the water. You would assume that culturally they're probably uniform, but they're not. It seems that everyone in Wano is this tough, I'm a warrior type guy, and I think that's pretty important.
That's an interesting observation. I was looking at it from the perspective of this mom. It's a woman there.
Yeah.
So this guy that's running, that guy is the parent to that kid that was crying.
No,
No, it's
That's a different guy, right?
just a random guy. Yeah.
it's a random guy, but he's worried about his child. But in the previous panel, the lady's telling no child that he should not complain because of where he's from. It's from Wano, and
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Well, like the
in-
important thing to note is like, so I kind of want this to be expanded upon because I think it would be a cool thing to add into the story. But obviously, since I'm,
me
as
too.
Froob would point at, Black Pearl to the point of no return, I don't know what to show. But you can look at the scene like this. So the mother is scolding her child on basically being human, but the older men are watching, kind of like you get the idea that they don't approve of what she's saying, but they're not going to say anything
Exactly.
about it. And the man comes running up and he's like, "Hey, I'll admit weakness. My child's blah blah blah. Do you have any more Jigong grass?" So
It's
yeah,
like they
just
putting up
conflicting
a cultural
ideologies.
barrier of strength that doesn't exist.
Well,
So they're trying to pretend this idea that this warrior class, well, deep down, they're hurting.
Well,
It's
I look
suffering.
at it from the perspective
They need help.
of the situation you're in, right? Where for a single mom, you're gonna try to raise your boy as strong as possible. So it's like
Single mom. I hate that phrase, bro.
Oh, God.
I know you do, but it's just like a mom by herself with her 2 kids. It's like you're gonna try to toughen them up, Where it's like
Okay, let's just put it down to them being a product of the environment. And
Yeah, but I think it's like even if you're in the same environment, like everybody's gonna have a different situation.
yeah,
So,
I agree.
But I understand that perspective. Where it's like I think this is just like showing two sides to a coin. Honestly, yeah, really
Single
interesting.
mom, ew.
Well, Lando, you know what? We'll get into that another time. As far as like why you hate single mom so much. All right,
The liberals, bro, the liberals.
oh man. All right, so we get a headliner reveal. I figured we get the headliner reveal of this chapter. I thought it would be a cheetah. Turns out that Speed is a horse.
Oh, that's yes.
Or like a centaur type thing.
Mhm.
So with Speed, she even smiles like a horse. Just think it's just typical of One Piece comedy. What do you guys think of Speed? Her personality, everything that was going on there in when she was revealed. In which
I mean, just in general, I'm kind of like disappointed in the uh, headliners. I mean, I don't know what I expected from them in general, but they just didn't. I didn't expect Luffy to just one shot that dude for one, and I didn't expect Zoro to just like straight up blitz this girl's caravan and just steal it from her, even though her name is Speed.
Especially since you have a degree of 350 in terms of field of vision. That's really impressive from Zoro.
Yeah, so I don't know.
God damn it, Lando.
But
he can't help himself. He really can't help himself.
But I'll say this though, Brago, this is very interesting. I only see this in the Viz. I don't think I've ever I don't think you've ever said out straight that Kaido crew is called Animal Kingdom Pirates. Isn't it supposed to be the Beast Pirates?
Yes, that's what it's been for the longest. I'm not sure if things are clearer now, in which it's Animal Kingdom.
I mean,
Animal
the
Kingdom Pirates.
translation has always been terrible in general because like
okay.
the whole 100 beast thing, like that doesn't like I don't know. It just seems like whatever word that he's using to call the Kaido pirates in Japanese, there's not like a good translation to English.
It can be
So it's
interpreted
like,
in different ways, but
yeah.
Animal Kingdom Pirates headliner Speed with the horse smile fruit. I thought Speed was okay. I mean, based on just his page, I was like, all right, it's a female horse. Okay, I didn't think too much of it. I mean, I thought it was just the typical One Piece character. It had different personalities, different ways, different things to her. What?
Brago, you spend 5 minutes asking what happened to her nipple. Like it hold up, put like the zip cover nipple.
No, at the bottom of the page,
Yeah.
it looked like she just had like a little like
that's
strap
your
over the
perving you,
nipple.
bro. That's
I can't help that. You know what I mean? All right, we got.
Like on page 6 with when it shows Speed like looking at the fires or whatever. That is literally like an exact copy of Nami's face when she's yelling at the.
Yes. Oda's great talent at drawing different things.
I don't know, like that just threw me off. Like Jesus Christ, like that's literally exact copy of Nami. I actually thought it was Nami at first when I saw it.
Yeah, I didn't look into it that way, but when you put it that way, yeah. The next page we see Zoro and Kiku. Zoro's walking like a badass, right, Lando?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Anyway, we see Kamijiro. That's the name of Holden's tummy, and Kamijiro has what the fuck is that child's name? I forget her name.
Okiku?
No.
Otama.
Otama in his jaws, and pretty much they're just talking shit. We see Hold'em, another side to his personality. What do you guys think about this page?
I don't know if it's the first time this has ever been seen in terms of a zone where they're have a part of them that's independent from their body, and it's actually named. And if you go to the last panel, it actually did an attack independent of Hold'em. So it could be possible that there is a mechanism where a zone could manifest a different being that could move operational by himself.
Well, we saw like some of the smile users that were attacking, they could kind of detach their arm in a way, like Didn't we see
Yeah,
the
but did they have
wolf?
personality and all that?
It
I'm like
didn't.
the lion had.
It didn't. But I think
It
some of
did.
these fruits are probably knockoffs in a way, right? They're because it was hinted that Momo's is like it's like a faulty devil fruit, which kind of opened the thought that okay, there may be more faulty devil fruits, and if it's a faulty devil fruit, why waste it? We can just give it to fodder, so they can be at least get a little stronger.
But the weird part about this is that in terms of what normal zone gives you, increased speed, increased strength, um increased hardness,
Yeah,
if you could say that.
yeah.
What this gives you in terms of you having an independent body part, that's pretty impressive.
You think so?
I mean,
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know
I
if
mean,
he's
if
gonna.
it wasn't, if it wasn't, it's useless. I mean, it was something actually strong. That'd be great.
I mean, that's the thing, though. Are we ever gonna see like to me, the headliners were supposed to be the people with the small devil fruits that were gonna be impressive,
Yeah.
but they weren't.
Just
So
like
it's like I don't.
Shiksa?
Are,
The
Yeah,
embodiment
well-
of being impressive.
Just to
Yeah,
throw this
pretty
out there, Froob, it could be quite possible that the headlines are just on the Jack.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's certainly possible. I saw people saying that as well. Let's see. Next page, it was, I guess more of the same. What we had Kiku saying, no more than this. He himself is strong, of course. Telling Luffy not to make Holem angry. It's some interesting dialogue here. It says, but what the townspeople really fear is who stands behind him. It is the right-hand man of the Animal Kingdom Pirates, Captain Kaido, a warrior named Jack the Drought, who sits in control of Kuri.
Yes.
So, this was the talk on Twitter for a while with people saying this confirms that Jack is the right-hand man of Kaido.
Not in my opinion.
You think?
So I mean, the thing is like this exact same thing happened in Zoe, where they said Kata was the right-hand man, and then they explained that he's like part of the three calamities. So
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I don't think it was
I mean-
ever as clear. It didn't ever. The anime was clear, saying the right-hand man. I think it was kind of more vague in what it said as far as Jack.
yeah, I
The
personally
viewers-
think that he's either first or second in command, but I mean, I don't necessarily think that we should take this as
think
like a
he's third.
confirmation.
Drizzt, I saw you say that if he's a right-hand man, it's disappointing.
For me, it would be.
I agree.
How so?
Well, I guess it comes down to your interpretation of Jack individually. For me, I don't really care about Jack as a character or any of the things he's done in the series.
Okay.
Comparing that to Katakuri, I would feel let down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
You
think.
guys-
I don't know. I think with Jack, it's based on what he's done, right? In which he was able to fight Nakamushi and Irashi by himself for several days. I don't think he's just not as sexy as Katakuri.
Yeah, I would totally fuck Katakuri right in the ass.
God.
Yeah, what I mean,
Lord have mercy.
what I mean sexy is just like Katakuri is.
No, Brago, we know what you mean, bro.
Yeah, he's just not as sexy. Whereas, like, I mean, some of Jack's feats, I think they're very impressive, but Katakuri was just overwhelming. And I'm not sure if Jack is viewed that way, even though fighting for 5 days is pretty damn impressive.
I think the issue with Jack portrayal is that he never gets to really dominate. Whenever he gets on the front foot, he's shot down. So I don't think we ever got a chance to see him in a position like Katakuri or Ben Bettman or some kind of Angry Marco, where they look impressive compared to their opponents. Sure, we lasted 5 days, but he couldn't beat them as well.
Well, they were switching out, right?
Yeah, but they have an initial 12 hours when they first started fighting. Didn't do anything then.
I mean, the thing is with Inuyasha and Nakamushi, they're not weak characters, right?
Yeah, they're not.
But they also weren't using their full strength.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Exactly. Good point, Drizzt.
Yeah, they weren't using their
Got my
full
back,
strength.
bro.
And also, it's a weird thing, I suppose. I'll elaborate more on the Jack thing. I'm not opposed to the idea of someone else fighting Jack and beating him. To me, it doesn't matter as long as Oda makes me convinced of the reason why. But I've always thought of it like, I don't think it would make sense for anyone but Nekomamushi and Inuarashi to fight Jack. considering they still have
Agree.
business left, and they themselves said the next time they fought him, basically Sulong form would be engaged. And it goes along with the entire theme behind Akamushi and Urashi, where it's like cat and dog have history, where to beat Jack, instead of going at him one at a time, they need to work together to beat him, which would be the entire point of having Jack as an opponent, because he would be perfect for that.
Yeah.
And if that is the quote unquote right hand man of Jack, then I feel like people would have their expectations tempered for whoever else is going to be in the arc fighting the other commanders.
Yeah, so I think
Yes,
I think for me now in the community, I think I like the fact that this is out there, so that some people in the community, it's not like crazy shit when it's like, oh, who is king? Because if this is indeed like Jack is a right hand guy, is king even a thing?
Exactly.
Well,
if Jack is the right hand,
then
Oda
King
would
and
be
Queen
working
are probably
backwards.
concepts that Oda had that he probably abandoned.
Right. And the thing is, remember, you know how Oda is, in which once somebody figures something out or get close, he's kind of like, he changes the idea. And I know one of the popular things that are floating around was that his workspace got revealed, and that showed like the King Queen Jack thing. So what a better way than to troll the fan base and to have Jack be the right hand guy, in which you think, oh, there should definitely be a king and queen, when that's not even a thing. Which is why I always had an issue when people were ready to put on the power rankings, but king and queen, when it's like we don't even know if they exist. It's like, we gotta let that play out.
People expect them to exist, but obviously we won't know until we know.
We don't.
Which is why this entire right man hand thing, yeah, I think it could be true.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to like believe it until I actually see the other calamity. Because
Yes, I agree.
like I think in the thread that we were all looking at, like Steven said, and I had the person that knows Japanese check. I mean, there are double meanings to the words, and so outside of like right hand commander, the other meaning for is someone that is close to someone.
Trusted advisor and shit, because that's what they said about Jack. That's what they said about Jack in Zo. One of his most trusted advisors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that could be a placeholder. I think Froob said this earlier for all of commanders. Looks like that tier of people. We won't know until we know, but I don't know. It would be different. I don't think it would be bad if Oda started off Wano by showing the strongest of, well, quote unquote, the strongest of the commanders from Jack, and then like going down.
Yeah.
That would be different, but it would certainly go against what Oda usually does when he writes.
Exactly. He always starts from the weakest and go to the strongest. Whenever analyze an antagonistic force, like he always doing that order. Except for Rob Lucci and those guys, where they started from the opposite. But Drizzt, I'm surprised the Japanese friend is still alive. I mean, after Grim roar, oh shit.
After Grim, what?
Because Grim
got him.
Grim came.
Remember
out.
when?
Yeah.
Remember when you were like your Japanese friend gave you a hint and some stuff, and Grim is like, no.
Grim's like,
this is your official.
Attention to Grim.
Yeah, Grim was going off in the comment section. Man.
Grim was tagging me and everything, man.
I saw
Yo,
that.
this is.
I saw that, made me laugh. The next page we had Speed showed up to where Holden was. Then we basically we got a glimpse of all the food that they had. Luffy got upset. And we pretty much then we got to the Hawkins and Law scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think is probably the most exciting part of this chapter.
Either that or the Jack being mentioned.
Jack be mentioned as well.
Yeah.
So we see Law, he's in town, and he has a hat. Well, I don't know what that is.
He pretty much just has a basket over his head, so no one notices.
It's a basket. It's a basket. All right.
Yeah.
He said, "Stop where you are, Basil Hawkins." And Law's idea is that Wano's a closed country, no information from the outside. He has to destroy anyone who would recognize them. We then cut back to Luffy and Zoro, and in some way, it makes it seem like Luffy and Zoro instant transmissioned. That's what it is. And it's confusing. Not for Luffy.
It is.
But for Zoro. Is this what we're doing now?
Why Zoro though?
Why
Zoro?
That's not Zoro.
I don't know.
I think it's confusing
for a larger idea from Oda. So despite what people think, and this is how I interpret it, Oda just does things to make them look good instead of if they make sense.
Okay.
Because Oda did the exact same thing with Sanji versus Oven, whereas Sanji was never like a speedy fighter, but he just instant transmission to smack Oven in the face, where he's never done that before in the series up to that point in time. And then we're like, okay, quick. We're like, awesome, Sanji's really fast now. Can you do it again? And then he never does it again. It was basically there to make him look cool.
This is just there to make them look cool.
But Drizzt, I'm a counterpoint
Until we see further, I just think it's just there for fan service.
What were you saying, Lando?
I agree with you to an extent, Drizzt, but using Oven as an example of someone flexing, I mean, Oda's Oven to make everyone flex.
Yeah, I mean,
but in this regard, I would say that everyone flexing Oven, bro. But I'll say this though, Okiku, I find it a bit weird.
Useless.
Is it because Oda is calling two minds? Yes. Is Oda trying to portray her to be strong, but still isn't sure if he wants her to be strong? This is the second time she's easily captured, while Zoro and Luffy's in the back like, I want Oda to double down on what he wants to do with her.
I mean, I think it's just one of those where that's gonna be the constant for Okiku. Where I know somebody mentioned that she may be she may be a bit insecure of her strength, where she can only use it when when it's something that's really important to her. So normally she has to act the regular way, the female, where she's a damsel in distress. That may be a thing, but that'll be revealed as we get more information. But her getting captured every other chapter is kind of like,
so I'll just say a couple things about this. So the way it's looking right now is that, like, as far as I'm concerned, the beginnings of Whole Cake Island and Wano are extremely similar, except they're only really missing one difference. But as it is so far, Kiku seems to be the equivalent to pudding in every way.
Okay, why you say that?
It's a good point.
Flopping, insecurity, doing one thing and then doing the next, every other chapter. But we know that's not what it really is. It's very similar behavior, and it's a little bit redundant as far as I can tell. That I don't really have a problem with that as long as Oda handles it fine.
Yeah.
Although I will say that it kind of hurts the tone of the entire situation, and it makes the reason why Kiku was even brought here a little bit questionable, because Kiku went off on her own to go do this, and then as soon as she gets there, she's like, I can't do anything.
Yes.
It's like she just thought about it just then.
That's a great point, Drizzt. I would have mentioned that.
And she was there for a whole month, and that whole
It's like
month
she went for being a
didn't do anything.
feminist.
It's kind
like
of
she went for being a
it felt
feminist.
Oda kind of forced that situation just to make a gag. Like back and forth, like we all knew. I don't think anyone expected Hold'em to be that strong in comparison to Luffy. And so a lot of people, from what I've read, had high hopes that Kiku would actually do something. And so you introduce an opponent that gets one shot by Luffy while Kiku doesn't even do anything the entire time, but has poses to look good without doing something. It's weird. Yeah. I expect it to be corrected in the future because I think Kiku was there for a purpose. But for right now, she's just kind of there.
Yeah, she's just there.
Okay, let's get this out of the way first, because this is history. This is the funniest stuff I've seen in a long, long time, and everyone misses it. Do you guys notice that Zoro actually directed the dog? Like, he told the dog which way to go.
That was hilarious.
Going back to Hold'em though.
Yeah.
I don't believe by no means that Hold'em is strong, but in defense of Hold'em, can anyone name me Luffy's strongest attack outside of Gear 4? Red Hawk is not a joke attack.
It's probably Red Hawk. No,
it's not weak.
Yeah,
it's not weak.
I had mentioned that Luffy normally he's gonna regular punch to people, right?
Yeah.
Like when he's upset, it's like a regular Gear second punch or a regular punch. This time, he went straight.
I feel you.
Flames him.
Like,
Red Hawk.
No, I feel
it all comes down to portrayal at the end of the day. Like if this dude was actually strong, he wouldn't have just had Luffy one shot him like that. Like,
yeah, I agree.
It's not even that. It's just like, for me, like the purpose of Luffy beating Hold'em was kind of like a wake up call. It was meant to be a wake up call. Like, wow, Luffy's actually this strong. He can do this now. But for me, I feel like the execution of this was so horrible that it left people thinking, headliners are weak, huh?
Right.
Instead of Luffy strong. And here's the
Yes.
reason why I think this is so. This is a writing technique that Oda embellishes in almost exclusively, where it's the tell, don't show, where you say something is true without proving it, and the audience is supposed to expect that to be true. So in this chapter, Kiku says, Hold'em's really strong, you know, but Hold'em hasn't done anything to back up those words. So let's
Just
recap everything that Hold'em's done so far. He was introduced, he got hit in the nuts by his own ability, he failed to interrogate an 8-year-old, and then he stood on top of a roof. That's everything that Hold'em did leading up to him being one shot by Luffy.
But this absolutely happened in Whole Cake as well.
Yes.
With the Vince Smoke.
Absolutely.
Because remember when we had this conversation as well, where it's like, if Niji beat a commander, right? Or no, it was like if Sanji beat Ichiji. Was Sanji strong or was Ichiji weak? Everybody's like, well, Ichiji's weak. It was like, but they just told us the Vince Smoke was strong. It was like, yeah, but they haven't done anything. And it was just like, that's the constant in which we have these characters that are built up and they don't do anything, and then they get beaten. Then the person that beats them, they're like, well, the person that they beat them, they just weren't that strong. So the person that beat them doesn't get like any credit for it because they should have beat them. So
yeah, I feel like there are two ways Oda could have done this a lot better. Because the way this scene, I think, was supposed to be interpreted, and I could be wrong, but I feel like this was a scene that was supposed to be similar to Luffy one-shotting Bellamy or hitting Charlos. I mean, the art is very, very similar.
Yeah.
So I imagine that the impact is supposed to be the same, but the difference between both of these scenes is that Bellamy basically had an entire arc of portrayal, and he actually did things that were much worse than what was Tama having her cheeks pinched. Pause.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, because like the meaning there, because like Oda was definitely trying to portray in the chapter, it's like, oh, Luffy really cares when you mess around with Tama, but I mean, what happened to Tama was almost comical.
Yeah, when he messed with his friends. I did like this chapter and where it went. I felt like it progressed shit, and Luffy using Red Hawk on Hold'em, I was like, okay, that's at least some respect there. That's how I viewed it.
I enjoyed the chapter.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I definitely did enjoy this chapter. It was a lot of comedy in here that I really did like. Especially Zoro. Especially, I love seeing Law pull up in the middle of the town. Like, yo, you
were ecstatic.
That was dope as hell. Him pulling up to say, nah, you ain't going nowhere, Hawkins. Which is like, that's what Law does, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm tired of this thing though that Oda does where every character is just trash unless they're like a commander. Like, I don't know. I feel like he did it pretty good in Whole Cake Island where there's a bunch of strong characters, but it seems like he's going back to it in Wano. It's where it's like,
well, I don't know. But Big Mom, she supposedly had the strongest family, right? So it's like, I'm not sure if Oda's going out of the way to portray that for Big Mom. But Kaido, I don't remember what he said about Kaido, what the strongest for Kaido was. But if Kaido is indeed top heavy, in which he has like 3 insane individuals beneath him, and like the others are just like, henchmen, then it's like that could be interesting as well. In which like you have to double up on each of these dudes to overcome them. And again, we still have the Shogun, which may have some strong people under him as well. So, I mean, I don't know. It depends. I don't expect all the Yonkos to be equal in every faction. You know, where Big Mom, she had numbers and she had quality, in which like after Katakuri, Smoothie, Cracker, Eat Snack, you still had Pedro Spero on the side. You still had Oven, Daifuku, and other impressive people like Amon, Mondor, Tamago. So she had a bunch of people there that was just like, oh wow, these dudes are impressive. And I feel like, I'm not sure if we're gonna get all of that on Wano. Is like after the fact, we're still saying these people are impressive, because I think this is one of the times in which I liked how Oda did the antagonist, in which after the arc we're not saying, oh, these dudes are trash. Well, at least everybody isn't saying that, because the community for the most part is saying, well, Big Mom's family was really impressive, in which people understand that it took a bunch of shit to happen for the Straw Hats to get away, because they were dead to rights at the Tea Party. So I appreciated that. Expectations for the next chapter, or you guys have anything else to say about this last page?
Going
I'll
back to
just say
so
overall, this is probably my favorite chapter of Wano, to be honest.
100%. I agree.
So and like I've obviously I hate on everything, so people are gonna say did you hate everything, but for me, like I may have not liked everything that was in the chapter, but I think my favorite part of it was what it's going to mean in the future chapters.
Yeah.
Because we finally got to see the glimpse of the overall scheme of the arc. So which is the reintroduction of Jack. So it's like, oh yeah, right, Kaido's here. You know, you do something, you should suffer the consequences for it, and so Jack should theoretically come down. And like that was, which is kind of weird because like that's the entire point of the Straw Hats lying low. Even law, like you aren't supposed to get into trouble because if you do something, then obviously that's gonna go back to Kaido. So I'm not really sure what law wants to do because if you defeat Hawkins, it's like okay, you blew your cover anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure Oda wasn't thinking of it like that. But I want to see some actual progression of the plot, which is weird because I don't think what's been happening in Wano has been bad so far. I just think it feels weird because everything's been going really fast in Wano, right? Like every obstacle has been overcome basically in the same chapter it's introduced, or close to it, right?
Yeah.
And normally, I think that's kind of a weird thing to do because whenever you're doing that, like the tone of the arc has a hard time to set because you're going through one thing to the next. And so what I expected, like the way to fix that whenever you're an author is you just like have chapters where it's a different perspective, which is why I expected to see like Nami's group way when we haven't.
Yeah.
So like, that would make like the interludes between Luffy and Zoro being OP seem different because you would have other people's experiences to compare to them.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping in the future chapters we actually see the other group soon.
I hope so as well. And I'm talking about future chapters. I think next chapter we might see a feast in a leftover town, because I would imagine that's where the food is going, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah.
And there's one thing about Luffy that I really admire. In terms of him being a liberator, in a sense, he doesn't place hope over experience. Luffy is someone where it gets you to believe in him because he does stuff. If he oh boy, Hockey
Go ahead,
Clash.
Just the way you said that. Just the way you said that was hilarious.
It's the way I said it. Okay.
Yeah.
Remember that Corey is one fraction of Wano, right? I'm just one part per section.
Yeah.
If he could feed these leftover town, and they could indeed spread his name as in terms of a guy who could get the job done. That's all I'm saying. This could be a segue into that. I'm not gonna go in too far with this. I have no idea what might happen.
No.
Just kind of messed me up a while ago. I thought I disagree.
No, I feel you.
It's
I
just-
mean,
it's just-
I'm gonna make a bold claim here and say you guys should be hyped for the next few chapters. 'Cause I think it's gonna start going somewhere.
I
how do you see it
I
going?
can't wait. I can't wait, honestly.
Well, the thing is Oda, like, okay, I'm assuming that Oda's actually like not retarded and he's not just making like stupid like errors, and having Law face up against Hawkins, although I don't think it's just gonna be like Law kills Hawkins, I definitely think he's setting up to like move the plot forward in some way, shape, or form with that whole thing. So I think that like shit from here on out is gonna start getting more intense, especially because it pretty much like the whole setup of this, at least in my opinion, was pretty much Luffy fucks up the town that Jack takes control of, and then Jack comes back, and then like that's kind of like what starts everything. So I definitely think that like the next few chapters are gonna be pretty interesting.
It depends on how close Jack is, though. You think he resides
But
in Korea?
Yeah. Well, it also Oda could also just do a complete different thing to where he just says, you know, fuck the straw, or not the straw hats, but fuck Luffy and Zoro right now, and then just go on to the other storylines, which would slow the pace of the story down a lot. But
Well, what do you think happens if Jack comes?
I have no idea.
Because like as far as I can see, if just Jack comes, then there's no problem.
I agree.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe he comes with
Even
like a
if you
fucking.
think Jack's the first commander, if just that comes to like try and take care of just Luffy and Zoro,
Yeah.
I mean it's fine. You know, they beat him.
Yeah.
Knowing Jackie probably brings subordinates.
More
Yeah.
headliners.
I mean, who the fuck knows? Who knows what's gonna happen?
We'll
But
see. That's why I want to know. Next is like what's the actual result of Jack coming down? Because for me, it wouldn't really make much sense to have Jack come down before like this quote unquote war starts, and then have him be defeated.
Especially see
I
that
think it would
promotion
make
last
sense.
season here.
But
Really? So like regardless of how strong Jack is, before the actual plot of the arc gets started, the like one of the commanders is already taken out, one of the strongest people in the arc,
I mean, you got to remember
After
that,
that.
like,
and we have the rest of the supernovas, and then like the arc's gonna last approximately a month, and Jack's
Yeah.
defeated for that time period.
yeah, but okay, there's like a bunch of things that go into that though, because one, we don't know how many forces, like strong forces, that the Shogun has on his side, to the point where, like,
Can balance it out.
in terms of matchups, there might just be too many people on Kaido's side, to the point where you might need to take like some out before like the giant war. And even if that's not true, like, everyone is convinced that the supernovas are all going to team up, but there's still a chance that, certain supernovas just stay on Kaido's side.
All right, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, I think for sure some of them stay on Kaido's side. Personally, I think Apu stays.
Can you hear that in the back?
No.
My mic, okay, because Snickers is going crazy.
Say
No.
what?
I think I heard it one time, like when you were saying that, but I don't hear it.
All right, good.
But yeah, next chapter, like Froob said, Jack shows up.
No, I don't think Jack is gonna. I think that the next few chapters are going to be good. Like, not. I don't know like what the word is, because I think that the next few chapters are going to get more into like the main plot of the story, and we're going to stop like getting like such hardcore setup.
I agree with that. I expect some good shit next chapter.
Likewise.
When we see the other Straw Hats. But yeah, this was a short one because it was just like, I don't know. The chapter was good. The chapter was really good, but it was just a lot of stuff that happened was just a lot of dialogue around stuff, a lot of comedy. It's just not too
shoot
much to
tomorrow.
break
That's the
down.
only thing we didn't talk about. I think.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You guys remember that poster that Oda gave us?
Which one?
Before Wano started?
With
where
the guy
Kiku
that looked like
inside
Sanji?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do think he saw tomorrow.
But they said that wasn't canon, right?
Yeah, it wasn't canon.
But then Okiku's there.
Well, it looks like Okiku, but I mean, Oda's women is just...
Yeah. Yeah, looks like her.
I don't know if we can necessarily say that. But yeah, Shutamaru, I saw a theory saying that Shutamaru may be killer.
Wait, what? Wait, why? Why?
Oh boy.
I don't know.
Oh, is there actually not a reason for it? Is there just like a way just to introduce killer?
I didn't watch it.
All right.
So do you know Brago?
Hey, I like the theory.
Well, just so we're clear though, do we all believe that Okiku is under Shotemaru, at least know him or some sense?
You mean killer?
I think she knows him. I don't know about being under him.
Yeah, I think she's working
I
with killer
agree.
for sure.
Yeah. No, like the weird thing is like I
Maybe
looked up like the
It's
name
killer. Holy shit.
Atamayama that's associated with Shutamaru.
Yeah.
And it brought me to like a classical Japanese tale that's basically told by like one person alone. It's like comedic, but like the tale that Shutamaru, like that group, is based off of is about a guy who has a tree growing on his head that kills himself because his life sucks.
Oh my god. Killer.
Killer.
Wait, what? Killer.
The guy kills himself. Killer.
Oh,
Kill?
wow.
Killer?
That's
Wow.
But what I've
Wow.
gathered, it seemed like Shotemaru just Robin Hood. I'm of Wano.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Makes
always
him
going to be a
rich,
good
get back
guy
to
that rises above all this to try to liberate the country, with all the bullshit that's going on. So that's who I assume Shutamaru is. It could be somebody we know, like Killer, or it could be somebody that's been fighting the good fight for a while, which I assume that to be.
could also be Shiki.
Oh my god. Yeah, we see all the floating buildings and
Yeah.
ton of theories about that going around about Shiki and him doing that stuff. So I don't know. I don't think it's Shiki, but we'll definitely see. Again, a good chapter. I gave this chapter, I think I gave it an 8.5. I don't remember. I don't think I rated it. But I think
Gave
I'm
it a
giving
9.
I'll give it an 8.
I definitely didn't give it a 9. 100%.
Yeah, I heard he said it's a 9.
100% didn't give it a 9. But I'd say like an 8. I'd say definitely an 8. What about you, Drizzt?
7.5.
Yeah. The 0.5 for the haterade.
Yeah.
The 0.5 was an up from what I would normally rank chapters, which is 7.
Oh shit.
So 7.5 and being generous. You're welcome.
We appreciate it.
That's right.
Lando, we got some Zoro wank, so 9 for you.
I'm not a Zoro fan, bro.
Okay, wait. First of all, convince me why you're not.
Because I never argue in favor of extremism on
Oh
on the Zoro
man.
side.
Oh,
Lando, you know that's bullshit.
Jesus Christ,
Oh,
Lando, have
man.
you heard yourself in the previous videos, man?
Marimo for life, bro.
And then he says Marimo for life. You probably got a tattooed on your back. You got a
On my chest.
You got a tramp stamp said Marimo for life.
It was an 8 until I saw Speed smile. Oh god.
What's wrong with Speed smiling?
Yeah, what's wrong? You hating?
Brago, that nose, bro.
No, everyone's
wow.
photogenic, dude.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Yo. Anyway. Not sure what's going on tomorrow. But yeah. That's pretty much
Wait, the
it.
chapter's not early, right?
Huh? That's what
Oh,
they're
the chapter's
saying.
not early.
I hate when it drops early. It throws off my entire schedule. But they say it should be dropping early again. So
Yeah.
I mean, we'll know when the spoilers.
we see when the spoilers come out. Hopefully it's a great chapter. I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully the community gets back into it like a thing it should be.
Listen,
But
man,
we'll
you just
see.
need a new character to be introduced in the story that does some
Dope
powerful shit, and then the
And
power
then-
level discussions will be fucking off the charts.
That's definitely something
mean,
that I've been looking at as far as like us doing again for sure.
Remember that Goat is coming back, so
That is true. That
Oh
is true.
yeah, get the fuck out of here.
I mean, but the thing is, yeah, that is coming back. We'll see. That's a topic for another day.
yo, have you seen editors comments?
I don't want to talk about bro. It's like I liked what they said, but then it was like, God damn, why do editors keep talking? Like they need to shut up.
They got some tips from Naito, man.
Jesus
if you think
Christ.
Oda's editor is bad, that dude was.
That man says
Oh
he's gonna
my
change
God,
the history of
he
manga.
changed the history of manga.
I'm not
Yo,
sure what happened.
I'm just saying this. Hisoka have to be in that bitch, bro.
I don't know
Hisoka is
what
in there.
happened, but
Hisoka is in there, bro.
the history of manga would change if a main
If Hisoka
character
shows up.
No, if a main character dies. That's the only way I can see you change the history of manga in a way which like you build up a character, then kill this said character. And Gon ain't dying. Maybe
Brago is
Kurapika
the
dies.
main- No, Brago, don't suggest it or say it. Or
Maybe
think about it,
Kurapika
bro.
dies, which would be a huge fucking
Yeah.
thing.
ass
That would be insane. But we'll see. If people like the video,
someone
subscribe.
is saying
What?
the guy from I don't want to say his name, but Don, Don
Don Freaks.
Brago. I didn't want to say it. Oh my god,
What's wrong with Don Freaks?
I don't want to spoil anyone.
Or Maha Zoldyck? We'll see.
They were saying that the reason why it might be a legendary chapter is
Yeah, so we can quickly touch on 918. When Luffy Tower returns the favor, then kind of just go into 919. This doesn't have to be crazy long. It could be half an hour.
no, that's too much. To be honest, this
I'm talking about for the entire thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Entire.
Yeah.
That's crazy short, then, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's late. I don't want to spend crazy time on it. But 918, when Luffy Tower
Wait,
returns.
bro. Before you start, did he drop a video a while ago?
No. Oh, I was.
No, he said
I-
he's dropping it with us. Don't you remember him saying that?
No, I guess you saw an announcement or something in Discord. What?
Yeah, in the Discord.
Oh, I was on Eric's podcast.
Oh.
Yeah.
Eric's okay. He went back again.
Yeah, I was on Eric's podcast. We were talking about 919. So,
I mean, you have to do some Shanks shit on that shit, right? Choke Shanks ego.
oh nah, we
Did a section called God Shanks.
God King. He's a God King.
God King.
Like Eric and them, they got
Guys,
Shanks like significantly
Yeah,
above like the other young.
everybody else.
It's funny. It's funny. I think. All right,
Well,
but so 918 is pretty much was the after effects of Hold'em versus Luffy and in which Law versus Hawkins. What were you guys like general thoughts on 918? Then let's get to 919. That's what I really want to talk about.
Lando, you can go first. I have to fucking pull up the chapter to refresh my memory really quick.
I remember vividly this chapter because people were citing the horror that the guy was trying to do to his daughter. If this chapter, if I remember correctly, when
Yes.
they were starving.
Yeah, so they're
Yeah.
starving. The woman was gonna kill the
Yes, an
child
old
and
man gonna
hang himself, and
hang himself
that's
and
when Luffy pulled up with the treasure, and that's at the end of the chapter, which we saw the tombstones.
wait. No,
Mm-hmm.
I think you said 918, right?
Yeah.
Wait, am I not in 918?
The 918. That's when we saw the tombstones at the end.
That's a tombstone again?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're at 919. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was at the part where Luffy punch hold him.
Yeah, that's the beginning of the chapter. Or wait, that's the end of
And then, yeah, it's the
917.
next chapter.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a minute. Let me.
Yeah, so 918 is Luffy promised Tama that, by this time that we leave this country, it'll be a place where you can eat as much as you want every single day.
Yes.
And then Ace, we had a flashback with Ace saying by the next time we come back to this country, it'll be a place where you can eat as much as you want. So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I pretty much remember this chapter now. So yeah, this chapter gave me fucking like I said this in the discussion that we had, but like it gave me crazy vibes of what's it called? Like the
Inherited Will.
inherited. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I definitely loved it. Just, of course, like seeing the more we get about Ace, because I feel like before we can talk about development or character development for Ace, I feel like he has to be characterized a bit better,
Right.
because we haven't gotten enough of him to know him as much. Like we know the surface level things as far as him being like his dad, not backing down, but as far as his ideals past that, like what did he believe in?
Yeah. We're probably gonna get more of that like introduced.
Probably as we
Luffy.
go through Wano, the experiences Luffy goes through, we're gonna see like stuff that Ace did, and of course his novel kind of gave some insight as far as like how he was initially, in terms of just making a name for himself, right? Where it's
Yeah. The
like
one thing I'm. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
that's like where he's just like he hated his dad, so he just wanted to get rid of that stain. That's how he viewed it. But what were you saying?
I was gonna say the one thing I'm really curious about with like the whole will thing is like so like when we're talking about like devil fruit users and how Oda usually like makes the personality of the user like go along with their
Mhm.
devil fruit,
Yeah.
and we were like debating on whether or not like that's just how Oda draws the characters, like he likes to draw the characters like that, or if it's like the devil fruit changing them
That's
to a
something
certain
that's
extent.
always been very interesting to me, like extremely
Yeah,
interesting. Where it may be just a shonen thing, where it's just like, hey, this is the fruit, so this is the personality. But
yeah,
Mm.
I kind of take it as like it's just when Oda draws a character, he kind of just wants to make the personality and everything go together with the fruit. It doesn't like have any really much more than that. He's just kind of drawing interesting characters. But kind of like
I agree.
paralleling that to what I'm trying to talk about is like I wonder if this whole like inherited will thing is just like if it's like something in the story that's real, if that makes sense. To where it's like, is Luffy actually like through some like magic, quote unquote, like Drift's been using that word, like some magic in the story, to where like he's literally inheriting Ace's will, and he's gonna be like, like he
Wait, just
inherits his
believe that
will.
there's some magic in the series?
No. He doesn't believe that there's magic, but he talks about how magic systems, like
Okay, like inherent
One
wills
Piece.
and all that stuff.
Yeah, One Piece the magic system is like devil fruits and hockey.
so where he's literally like
Yeah, that's the force, isn't
getting
it?
some of Ace's, like I don't know,
Yeah,
like
like I don't know like what you would call it. I mean, it's just like a. I'm just throwing out
where it's
ideas
not
out there.
just
But, like,
ideology, it's more it's more
it's not
real.
just like, oh, I want to be like my cool brother, but
Yeah.
it's more of like a I like
But
I don't want to use this word because it's gonna sound dumb, but like I like took part of his soul or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
to where
I
but I mean,
mean,
from the
yeah,
jump, Ace and Luffy ideals kind of are parallel.
somewhat.
Yes, somewhat. I mean, the core values of liberation and freedom, and
Yes.
they've been anarchists is the same in a sense.
Where
Like, they just want
they
freedom.
want freedom from different things.
yeah. And the
Exactly, you can
reason
say
it
that.
makes me wonder that is because have they um have they explained why Red Hawk is like the like mechanics behind why he
No.
burns on fire? Okay,
No.
yeah. So like that thing is like completely unexplained to the point where it's like,
The
okay,
only hint
just
that
like
I can get, go on, Froob.
is he just like using his like devil fruit to the or is he just like using like some like weird combination of hockey and a dove root, or is like
I made a video
what's
about
going on
this
there?
like 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
The only
And I think it's just like devil fruit plus hockey plus torque.
yes.
Right.
Right.
Where it's just and
That's
then
like the-
and maybe a little bit of magic sprinkled in because it's like it's not
Said man.
logically it doesn't make sense. But
Yeah, exactly.
you
That's
know,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like it, like that's like definitely like the easy route to take it. Like the two, like I would say like the best ways you can bet on it would be either one, it's like like the friction, like you said, like he's like creating friction or something
Yeah.
like that, or two, it's like him like unlocking like a different level of like hockey or something like that.
But
Like how like Zoro has his Astra or whatever. Like that might be something like hockey related.
my thing
But
was also like
I'm-
Thor elephant gun. It has some electricity with it, right?
Yes, it does.
So then that's like
At least in the anime, I
in
think.
the anime. I mean, even in the manga, it was like some
In the manga?
stuff like around it, like to hint that it's like some electrical properties. Where it's like, okay, is Luffy unlocking different levels to elements or whatever, and where it's-
Elemental attack?
yeah, where it's not explained in a way that's as clear as other series as we would like. But I mean, we just gotta use what we can. In that,
Regarding my opinion on the Red Hawk, the only hint to me that kind of implies that Luffy has to use armored hockey to create the fire. That's the only thing that kind of
Yeah,
implies
right.
that it is something internal he's doing, like
Yeah.
heating up his body.
yeah,
No, I agree with that because isn't it the same thing with fucking the Thor or whatever? It's like gear third
Yes, armored
hockey on
hockey,
yeah,
it.
yes.
gear third or
so-
hockey, yeah.
Yeah.
So in
It
some
probably
way-
does-
I just wish it was explained, where it's like we got
Right.
some, even if it's bullshit in real life, right? As far as like, yeah, that doesn't make sense. But it's like based on how Oda explained it, it'd be like, okay, all right. But then that would give us ideas as far as like how other people can implement this stuff into their fighting styles.
Well, yeah, that's Oda's huge thing, right? He
Yeah.
just keeps everything fucking blind, so you have to guess about it and like use hints in the story to kind of like piece it together. Which kind of I honestly prefer. Some people hate that, but I prefer it. But
I don't mind it, but when it's explained really well, it's like it's easy,
yeah,
Yeah,
I
Yes.
think it's overdone probably too much in One Piece, but I do like the kind of I do like the mysteriousness of it.
I mean that's what
But the
that's
trade-off is though, Brago, if it's already explained, there won't be much speculation, and more speculation
Right.
won't be an argument.
I mean that's the thing.
It's the reason we can fucking talk about
That's
the
why you can
series
talk
for, like,
about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of things that are left out there. That's why Oda, like, he gets the SBSs with the Dolphy versus Luffy thing. I didn't think that was a topic
that
of
was
conversation.
horrible.
I didn't think that was a topic of conversation, but it made it to the SBS,
That-
right? Where people are legitimately saying like Luffy wasn't able to run after using Gear Fourth versus Dofi. Like, would he have died at that point? It's like, is that a thing? Like, would Dofi have beaten him? And it's just like Oda left that kind of open, but he came and said, well, Luffy would have figured it out regardless because he's Luffy. And it's just like,
That kinda
okay,
confirm- yeah, that
You
kinda
know?
confirms to me that regardless of what opponent
he's gonna
Luffy
overcome.
goes up against, he's gonna overcome in some way.
I mean, we kind of figured that, but you don't like hearing it,
yeah, exactly. Don't let it be portrayed
you
to
know?
you visibly, like where you can actually see.
Yeah,
it.
you don't like hearing that. Like, it's just you want to know that if something is a problem, like if Luffy isn't there yet, he's gonna have to overcome it, or he's just gonna lose, right? But
Yes.
it's in One Piece. It's just that's just not where we are right now. And I think based on the fight versus Katakuri, it's clear that it's not gonna be another time skip. Like that's not happening.
That
Fucking
fight
remind me of that
changes
shit.
everything for the overall.
Yeah,
series.
it's not going to
Like,
be
when-
another
when I
time
hear-
skip. It's just going to be the Straw Hats growing through their experiences, right? That's
When I hear-
just it.
When I bring up the idea of Zoro leaving Wano in terms of her being a right-hand man level,
Yeah.
many people surprisingly are surprised by that. I'm like,
No.
did you not see Luffy versus Katakuri? Like going
No,
into that fight,
yeah.
Luffy feats is of no match to Katakuri. None. He's completely outclassed. But Oda has shown you that it doesn't matter what the difference in power is, he will bridge that gap.
Froob, I need a drop for every time Lando's about to go in his soliloquy
Oh,
about Katakuri. Like
No, I mean seriously, that fight really changes everything in the series, bro.
it did. But
It did. It really shows you that the idea of the metamorphosis via training is out the window. They will grow in the fight.
yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
That's what it's about to be right now.
We've seen it before where Zoro learned to cut steel.
Yeah, but all those have always been selective. Like
Yeah.
them trying to accomplish one thing. With Katakuri,
Yeah, I mean-
Luffy literally competed with Katakuri. Strength, speed, observation,
the
art,
thing
armor,
is, like, it was much more like believable when Zoro did it,
Yes.
because like the thing is,
He was trying to do it before.
because like the thing is with Zoro Mr. One, right, was like Zoro, like if you go watch or reread that fight, Zoro like completely outclassed Mr. One in terms of swordsmanship.
But you're just gonna hit him.
But
you can
yeah,
affect
he
him.
couldn't hit him.
Yeah.
So it was like a thing to where like he just needed to like figure this one fucking thing out to be where he could finally beat him.
But Froob, that's like
There's an argument to be made that Das Bones literally was more superior to Zoro.
And I would have been completely
yeah.
fine with that. Like Luffy.
Yeah,
No, I don't think so. I think if you reread
No.
the fucking fight, I don't think.
No, I mean, I think, but Zoro
You
like
see that.
ending it the way he did. It's like, well, if Zoro could hit him, it's like it's over. But it's
It's
like
over,
sometimes
it is.
in like, look at Katakuri and Luffy. It's like if Luffy could hit Katakuri with Gear 4th the entire time, it's over. Where it's like sometimes the power of not being able to get hit or being able to be affected by hits, that's your power. And it's like that was completely removed for Das Bones, and Zoro, of course, he would win in that situation. That's like Sanji was clearly better than what was that, Mr. 2, right? Sanji was clearly like more skilled than Mr. 2, but he just couldn't hit Mr. 2 because of the Nami thing where Mr. 2 was just changing his face or whatever. So it's just like, in terms of that, I don't think Sanji grew in that fight because it's just like it was like a weird thing to overcome. With Zoro, he definitely grew, right? Where it's like he at that point he could cut steel.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse,
Right.
but it's just like we like, Katakuri fight is just tilting in so many different ways. Because
Yes,
it's like
it is.
Yeah.
it's
It
like
is.
even if you don't want to agree that like, or even if you want to say that Zoro wasn't stronger than Mr. One, like I was like portraying it to be,
Yeah,
at the very least they were pretty close.
they're pretty even.
Yeah, they were.
Pretty
Yeah.
even. Pretty
The
even.
Katakuri fight started off pretty much by
It
saying
wasn't
like
close.
I'm better than you in every single fucking
everything.
possible way. There's absolutely nothing that you're better than me at.
Yeah. So
Like, that was literally the fight.
But what's funny is that people like most of us started off like saying that with Katakuri versus Luffy has no way to defeat Katakuri, right? That was,
Yes.
and then you had people on the side of Luffy saying, "What are you talking about? Why are you hating on Luffy?" Right? And then when it got towards the end and how Luffy defeated Katakuri, it was like, "This is trash. This makes no sense." We're like,
Exactly.
that's what we were saying from the beginning of the fight.
Beginning fight.
This makes no sense. How he was
Brago, to be honest, Brago, we know the outcome of most stuff. We just want to see how it plays out.
Yeah. I mean,
And we want
that's
to
the
be
thing where
divided
it's like
in terms of how
we expect Luffy to win in some way, right?
we
Where
do
it's like
expect him.
he's not gonna die, right? Obviously, he's not gonna die. So it's
Yeah, and,
like
like,
that's
the
why
thing
we were
is, like-
saying like maybe he would run away, and he did run away. So people,
Yeah, like Oda could have easily drawn it to way where it was like
he didn't have to go back.
Yeah,
no, not
exactly.
even that. He could have easily been like he could have drawn Katakuri's character like in the beginning of that scene to where it was like, okay, we're pretty even on all this shit, but like your observation hockey is like that's what I have over you.
But the thing is,
And, like,
it went the route
You're
of.
never gonna.
I was saying it went the
Yeah,
run
yeah,
of Katakuri flexing at first, right? And then midway after the Metal Luffy's like, "Oh, the only thing impressive about you is your hockey."
That
Huh?
was so stupid. That was so stupid.
But that's what I'm saying. Like if you would have started off to where it's like, okay, we're even, but
Yeah.
like your observation hockey is just so much better than mine.
And then you
And then, like-
you match
and
his
then, like-
observation hat. Oh, got
Right.
closer. Then it's like
Right.
Luffy and his intangibles. Of course, I'm picking Luffy. But
that would have been 1,000 times better
Yeah.
of a fight to where it's just like,
when this
Now,
man
here's my
use your
issue with the
power,
fight.
when this man is using mammoth gun and telling you like I'm just better, and he used Gatling in which
Brago, did you just say mama gun?
yeah, mammoth gun. Because Luffy used elephant gun,
Bro.
you used elephant gun,
Wait.
and Katakuri made one bigger than that.
Wait, that was so amazing, bro. You just piece out. Yo, you just try to do a radio show, Brago.
Mammoth
You're
gun.
good with words, bro. That was amazing, mama gun.
That's
Anyway,
that's his
Brago,
thing.
my issue with the fight is this. Katakuri been characterized outside of his feet shown whenever it's convenient.
Yeah, I mean,
Theoretically, Katakuri should have stopped Luffy the wedding easily.
like I agree with Dritz's like whole assessment
This
of
man
this.
have an awakening. He could have literally stopped everyone if he really wanted to. It's
Katakuri
just that
is
it's
made
been so
incompetent.
convenient that yes, they made it competent whenever it suits.
For the plot.
I mean, I don't,
It suits
I
the
don't,
fight.
I don't agree with that necessarily. I agree to a certain extent. I don't think during the wedding.
I mean, the
There was-
wedding that was it was like so many factors that like
Yeah, exactly.
Katakuri
like,
was
No,
literally.
Brago.
I mean, Katakuri in the wedding,
he
it was
couldn't
just
stop
like
Luffy.
it seemed okay. So you couldn't stop him, Luffy getting out of cake. I mean, you could have covered it with mochi, I guess, right? But
Yeah, like there.
yeah,
Okay, like let me explain this really quick.
Brago, I'm talking about when he took up the ideals to see who was going to show Big Mom the porch.
Oh,
Oh, you talking about when he captured
Right
Luffy and
then-
then Luffy stretched his arm?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Katakuri didn't have to go around Jinbei and Pedro and all that.
No.
He has flowing mochi. He could literally
Yeah.
stop Luffy right there and then.
He
if
could have
wanted.
and he could have stuck him.
He could have. That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to portray. Like the characterization of his feats has been convenient whenever it's needed.
Yeah. I mean, and then the entire fight with Luffy, like I think he used the sticky stuff like twice.
Twice.
And then
you're
of course,
trying-
I
yeah.
always talk about the grilled mochi and how that works and just how I don't know. I mean, this fight, I think we're gonna continuously talk about this fight and how
Yes,
it.
it is a staple in terms of
honestly,
how fight should not be done.
I think this fight is like a moment in One Piece that completely changed the outlook of it.
It does.
Because before this fight, we were like, people were legitimately thinking we needed a time skip, right?
Yes, because we legitimately did need a time.
Right, because of how like some of the fights went, when how like Luffy, after the entire thing with Doffy, after fighting like Law and Luffy versus Doffy's like, wait, Doflamingo, you can overcome Doflamingo with help?
Yeah.
And it was just like,
Exactly.
how do you stand a chance versus Yonko? And then he goes to Yonko's territory, and we would say he struggled versus Cracker, right, in which he needed the help and the assistance of Nami. And then when we see him going up against like Katakuri, who's obviously stronger than Cracker, and
In every metric.
and it's just like for him to overcome that.
One on one.
I mean, like I said, Luffy won, but he wasn't stronger.
Going stronger.
That's
my
my
critique as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
But here's my issue, Brago. Is how people are ignorant. People, when I bring up the idea that Zoro might do the same thing as Luffy, people are opposed.
I don't know why.
And I'm like, why? Like, you just seen something that we would deem impossible by every metric.
Yeah.
You're telling me that you don't believe that Zoro might do the same thing? I mean, it might not make sense, sure.
Yeah.
But you might at least acknowledge the possibility that it can happen.
Honestly, don't mind. I like talking about this, and I was on Sean's stream, Sean Holmes, and his stream.
Yes, I know Sean.
I was talking to Unexpected Wonder, and shout out to Unexpected Wonder, one of the like older
that?
guys in the. You should look at his channel, Lando.
Content creator?
Yeah, I think you would actually agree with some of his videos. Kind of a low key guy, Unexpected Wonder.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he make videos in my same vein or no?
I just think some of the way he dissects his videos and goes in depth as far as fighting styles and techniques, you may appreciate that. I mean, he's on the side of Luffy versus Katakuri, in which he said that
Is he a Dredge dude?
Yeah.
I think he's a Dredge
Yeah.
dude. Okay.
So he said Luffy versus Katakuri, Luffy made up the difference with his intangibles, where Katakuri was superior in several areas, but he didn't have the same intangibles that Luffy did.
That's just bullshit.
Okay, that's my problem here. Here's my problem. You can't be selective whenever it's convenient.
What do you mean?
You can't go, well, Haki deteriorates when you fight for long. That only applies to Katakuri. Haki blooms in this situation, but that only applies to Luffy. If you're gonna be consistent around certain stuff, you must be consistent about everything.
But Kobe's
overall.
hockey bloomed in that extreme situation.
No, my reality is that why only Luffy in that situation?
So do you think Law's hockey should have bloomed versus Doffy?
I'm not talking about like overall.
I think he's trying to say in
different
that
scenario. I'm talking
Why
about
did
just that fight.
Katakuri's fight hockey blow.
Well,
right?
the thing is-
Katakuri had something on the stake as well.
One can assume, this is my assumption of that when you
Yeah.
get to a certain point in your fighting career, right? At that
Here we
point,
go.
you're at your peak.
No, and that's my problem though.
Yeah.
Brago.
I think Katakuri is at his
Oda
peak.
should specify that. It should specify that one of the requirements for blooming is that you're not at your peak as well.
That's
and
Hana,
there's no way
that's
to go beyond that.
that's Togashi stuff that Oda does not have.
Yes,
Oda's just not
okay.
capable.
Hey, listen.
Precisely.
Yeah.
I think we should probably get off this because this is probably gonna fucking.
This could
take up way too much
be
time.
its
Call me
own
a
segment.
fanboy.
It could be its own segment.
Yeah.
Brago, if you post this, please don't post this tomorrow, bro. I'm gonna get wrong.
Yo, go check out Lando's
whatever
channel
we-
if you want to send hate. Lando checking in.
No, but like what I want to say.
I have a video in Katakuri anyway. So
The last thing I want to say about that intangible shit though is
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily like the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but like I don't think it's taking into the scope of like what actually happened. Like if I could go into like explaining the entire fight from like how it was actually portrayed, but like that would take too long. So I'll just put it like this: Luffy, from like what we saw on screen, it didn't seem that bad what Katakuri was doing. But we have to remember that fight was 12 hours, and like
Yes.
Yeah.
pretty much the entire time, Katakuri was just beating the fuck out of Luffy. Like Luffy might
And
have
then-
dodged a few hits here and there, but in general, it was just
Yes.
Katakuri wailing on Luffy the entire time.
Yes.
And
And what's
you're
more
just,
ridiculous
you're
is
just
that
supposed to expect me to believe that like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
like
yeah.
an understandable like way for Luffy to win when he was like
Exactly.
already half dead and then he got stabbed and then he just comes back with Snake Man and just like I
And
don't
then going deep into that as well, Froob, you want me to believe that Katakuri couldn't catch Luffy for about 3 or 4 hours, despite doing it twice.
Yeah. Hey.
It's like you're asking so much of me to twist my mind and do mental gymnastics to believe this idea that Luffy actually beat this man fair and square.
Yep.
Like it's ridiculous. No, he didn't.
Yeah. It's one of those
You
in the
can't-
community that we're gonna
you
discuss for a
can't-
while.
You can't justify by telling me that Flampe said Luffy had been hit multiple times and should be dead multiple times. But I'm supposed to believe that he overcome this via willpower?
Well, here's what they said about Flampe. She don't know
It's
nothing.
obviously the plot.
They said Flampe don't know nothing.
Dude, you know about Conqueror's Haki? Come on. She is at least have some battle intelligence. She knows how fights operates.
Yeah. They say that she don't know nothing, man. So we can't use her as a barometer of things like that. So yeah, we off it.
man.
Yeah, let's get off it. I mean,
Yes,
918
let's get off it.
Law versus Hawkins. I really enjoyed that exchange and how they went about that. I think Law and Hawkins, as far as personality wise, they're close. And just how they go about their fights, and then even fighting someone like Law and Hawkins is a lot you'd have to overcome to beat them.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's Otis keeps
Whoa.
giving us the little cock teases of like fights.
Yeah.
Like
To be honest, Brago, there's not a lot need to overcome, bro.
You don't think so?
If you have prior knowledge on both,
No, that's
you
what I'm saying.
have a good
That's what I'm saying. Prior knowledge is necessary versus these gentlemen.
Yes.
'Cause
If you know Law's ability, you know
That's what I'm
Hawkins'
saying,
ability.
Yeah.
you
I
have a
want
good-
to see Law fight against a commander that has no idea what his ability is.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
Get shit on. He just
Like
lose.
Smoker, right? Smoker had an idea of Law, but I don't think he's ever engaged with Law, right?
Yeah, like
yeah.
So
that's the thing.
when he fought Law, off rip, when he saw Law use like tact on the battleship, he's like, holy shit. Like what is going on? And then
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like, oh yeah, keep going.
I was saying like, and then he like, of course, with Mess, he got caught with that, and it's just like that's the danger of Law, where it's like he has one shot potential with several attacks, several.
Yeah,
To
like
be honest, Brago, the only way you can justify Law like Law going to a fight and not winning against someone in his own like battle strength is if they have this extreme ability that can match his.
Which Hawkins does.
That's probably that's probably the only way you can justify
Yeah,
it.
yeah. What were you saying?
yeah,
Fruit?
like
Because
no, I was saying like you look at every person that Law has fought, which is pretty much it's Smoker kind of. I wouldn't really call that a fight, and then it's
Damn.
Virgo, Doflamingo, and pretty much Hawkins right there.
Yeah,
Every single person has known his ability.
yeah, yeah.
It's like Law, like Doflamingo obviously knows, Virgo knows,
Mhm,
and then
Well,
Hawkins
Virgo-
knows from Saboti.
mhm.
So it's like
well, Froob, I'm counter-arguing to that, Froob. Law also know theirs as well. So I mean,
no, but I'm just saying
Come
from
on,
her perspective. Okay, not to get back on the Katakuri thing, but not knowing Katakuri's ability going into a fight with him is like insta loss.
Yeah, because even if you're a hockey master, right, and you go in with like your armor and hockey thinking you hit him, it's still it's an L.
Yeah, because like
Well,
because the thing is like Luffy, like, this is another advantage that most people don't talk about. That's actually fucking huge. But like, Luffy's hockey regeneration is huge, right? Because Katakuri is kind of a fighter to where like the first portion of the fight is like where you're figuring out his abilities is like super important. So like the fact that he got to like test his skill against him and like kind of understand the ability for a little bit and then go back in is like huge. 99% of the time, if you're in a fight like that, you're not gonna have that
You're
chance.
not getting
So it's
away.
like, yeah,
You're not getting away.
Yeah. So
But that's a plot.
yeah, that's what's up with Law. Like, and of course, Oda kind of implemented the stamina thing for Law to kind of nerf him a little bit, where it's like,
yeah.
Yes,
you know,
this definitely is.
but with the Law and his abilities, like how he threw the stone and then he was on Hawkins like that. I mean, a lot of people are getting overwhelmed by that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are like, yo,
Yes.
whoa, because that's a lot to take in
But
at
there's
one
my
time.
issue with Law, though, the Brago. There's my issue with Law. His abilities are so overpowered that it cannot be applied every time. It's like you gotta
No,
create these unique situations where you can't really have him dominate that much.
no, because then it's
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
because then
and
you
there's kind of way to
because
explain
then
it.
you'd be like, why isn't he dominating everyone?
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
no fight then.
But I think
I mean,
with
that's
Law,
the thing.
like,
We
what,
need to figure out Law's fruit because the
Yeah.
thing is, I don't understand why he can. Okay, like if you look at the Hawkins fight, right? He cuts through Hawkins, right? But it doesn't cut through him because he has the doll.
yeah,
And then the second slash he
Yes.
goes at Hawkins, he blocks it. So it's like, why can you
No,
block
maybe
that?
use
There
some of his
was-
swords. Maybe because of the way he position his swords. His sword were more of his sword more of a position of an injection
yeah.
shot.
The thing is, yeah,
Yeah.
the sword.
Amputate.
I feel like with his sword, it's not his sword isn't his devil fruit power. It's an
Right.
it's an extension of it, right? So
Yes.
when Law uses his sword, if you block his sword, it's like it should cut you, but I would assume that Hawkins is using some level of hockey, even if we're not seeing it.
The armament hockey
Right?
is
Yeah, but even
is a
then,
factor
like
as well.
Virgo had to have been using like pretty decent hockey when he got cut in half himself.
But I'm sure
so it's
Law
like,
probably applied more.
Ye-
But it's like I think of it as like it's like a push and pull thing, as far as like with the devil fruit and hockey, where it's like Virgo went in, and Virgo was still a bit overconfident versus Law, right? Where Law at that point, I think Law got pretty pissed, and Law probably applied hockey and devil fruit, and that overwhelmed Virgo, and I feel like they didn't factor in Law's growth over the time. That he wasn't with them. So for me, that's how I kind of rationalize and justify it, where Law just applied more and overcame Virgo's hockey, where he had Devil Fruit plus hockey, and I think he used the hockey. So, for instance, his hockey matched Virgo's hockey, and that canceled out. So at that point,
and the fruit power.
the fruit versus nothing.
Many would argue that Law didn't use hockey, but
I think he
I don't
definitely.
know.
I think he used hockey.
I don't know.
Because invisible hockey is a thing. So
Yes, it is.
yeah,
It is.
yeah. So it's
I wouldn't really call it invisible hockey. I just call it that you have hockey where you can touch Logias.
Yeah, because Armin hockey. Because remember when Virgo touched Smoker, he wasn't Armin. It was just like he just grabbed
Yes,
him.
he does it
Yeah.
precisely.
So
Armament hockey is more of a coating.
yeah, it's like condensed. So
It has the same usage, but it gave you a more defensive
yeah,
stuff like.
and offensive capability. So it's interesting there. But I mean, 918 for the most part was interesting chapter. Left off with the
Now I want to say one thing though,
Go ahead.
Brago. The most interesting part about this chapter was the implication that Jack is actually there. If you look at page, let me see them.
you think at the
I
end
know
with
what you're
Hawkins
talking
and the
about,
dot
yeah.
dot
Hawkins
dot.
looks
Yes,
scared.
he does have a look in terms of like
Uh,
there's someone important coming or something important happening in that zone.
I would think it's Drake. I think it's Drake.
The thing is, well, regardless of what you think, I think something's about to happen next.
Something is
I mean,
in
it
that
could
region.
be Drake Brago, but at the same time, I'm not sure Hawkins would
look at
that-
Drake as a superior.
Yeah.
Yes,
He kinda looked-
Unless
He looked a little
He
bit
looks scared.
afraid.
Unless he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he looked scared.
Yeah.
He did look.
Something
scared.
could
But
be
at the same
afoot.
time, like even if X Drake is stronger than Hawkins, which he probably is, he's
He's not looking at
like
him that
Hawkins.
way.
Yeah. He's not looking at him that way.
Yeah, yeah. More than likely, it is
I
a
think it's
superior.
Jack.
It is.
I think it's Jack.
It'd be dope if it was a superior. I would say that.
Yes,
Um,
I think it's Jack.
something could be.
Yeah, I
afoot.
mean, it could definitely be leading to the.
Yo, Jack about to hang like hold him and.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's my theory. If it comes true, that was me that said that first. But it definitely could be setting up to like a Zoro Jack thing or something like that.
Yeah,
I
definitely could.
don't know if Zoro's ready yet, but
Many people argue that
I mean, I'm just saying in
Jackie be
general.
reserved for Nekomusha Inarashi.
yeah, it may be
Yeah, that's what
a little
Trip says.
clash. Because the thing
I'm not
is,
disagreeing.
with Law's power, right? You can have it in which you engage with a commander, then you're out of there quickly,
Of course.
right? So it's like with Law being there, I think we could get some interesting back and forth. Because as far as like this group, right? Where else, like, if you feel like they're part of the Minx and that alliance, where else would they go than Odin's like ruins, right? Like, it's obvious
Brago,
where they
I'm gonna
are.
talk about that, bro. I'm gonna talk about that.
But
Brago, like that needs to be talked about.
but yeah, it's like I said, we end off with the tombstone as far as like the whole thing is the truth and the unbelievable truth. We see the names of people that we know: Odin, Kazoki Odin, Vassal, Kinemon, Vassal, Kanjuro, Momonosuke, Raizo. We see two others. Well, three are blocked off. Two without the roofs, and one
We can pretty much safely assume that the one
is his mom.
Odin. Yeah, his mom.
Or his wife, whoever. And then two people are saying it's Nakamushi Inarashi. I don't think so. I was like, because it'll be no reason to hide it.
Yeah, I think it's two characters we haven't
seen before. But then that leads to 919. And for 919, that's when we get the reveal of exactly what it was. But before we get to that, do you guys want to give your overall thoughts on chapter 919? Like, okay, you want to start
919?
919. I mean, now we're past 918.
Yeah.
So 918 is like the speed thing, where speed is now Tama. Speed is taking away Tama. Do we care about that? How do you feel about that?
As I said before, I said in a stream that I don't like him using headliners as an apparatus to demonstrate this power, because I don't think they should be the one being this submissive because of the status.
Yeah.
But I do understand that if it comes to Tama needing protection, someone strong is the best choice. But I'm not sure about her loyalty, though. I mean, she have shown that she can. Well, I wouldn't say flip flop, but she does. I remember last chapter she was like, "I'm headliner speed. I'm not supposed to obey you." So it is possible that she might step out of it, and there might be some subplot going on.
I mean, I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I mean, I think that it's pretty obvious from the way that things are being portrayed that Tama's going to have a huge role in Wano in some way, shape, or form in terms of her ability.
I think the reason people hate it is because it kind of reminds them of Zeus. It kind of reminds them a bit of Zeus. It does. It does remind people of Zeus, and many people feel about Zeus and Big Mom. She losing Zeus and all that.
I think, I mean, the headline is they don't like. I don't really care about them that much to the point where I'm like, oh man,
Well, Brago, issue though, Brago, if they indeed are the next best thing to the calamities, they are important.
We're assuming though.
Yeah, I think we're just going to assume that the headliners are. There's just got to be a different tier because, like, there's no way that fucking Oven and Speed are like the same.
Like the Enraged army, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they had a separate class, a separate
I
tier.
hope these are Jack's men, but I hope these are Jack's men, but at the same time, I have no proof of that.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, I mean, the way that it is now, I'm kind of thinking of the headliners as like kind of like if we compare it to Big Mom's crew, like the Bobbins and the Randolphs, like those types of people. Maybe
I wouldn't go that far, but I would say more of like that guy who slapped Sanji down in Skywalk. Big fat dude.
UN.
No, I definitely
not UN. Yes, it's UN. Yeah, I think it's a guy like that. Like, they possess various different traits that might be resourceful, but they're not the frontier fighters.
Yeah, they have like different, like you said.
Yeah, they're more resourceful than powerful.
Yeah.
You know, to say that. Yeah.
All right, so let's see it. Then we had, for the most part, the people thanking Luffy.
Oh, Brago, one more thing. This might be a bit minor, but out of all that food, Tama really packed an apple alone. Bro, that's just ridiculous.
But think about
bro.
it.
Like,
think about it, Lando.
This man is in the same status as you are, and you've been hungry. You eat an entire plate, and all you pack when you have transportation is an apple.
Think about it though. Her tolerance is probably crazy, in which she can probably eat like a bite. A bite.
Bro,
I mean,
that's a grown ass man with a long nose, bro. You gotta feed that nose.
I mean, you're right. You're right. I mean,
Yeah, it's some in detail. I'm just trying to be funny there, but still,
I
it
feel
is
you.
a bit weird.
She
It
should.
is a
She
bit
could have at
weird.
least taken like a
She could
carry
have
out,
least, yes, she could have
a
least
takeout
taken a
plate,
basket.
a take home plate or something.
Dude, that's one bite of apple, bro. That's gonna do.
Yeah. He's getting through that easily. Zoro,
Let's get to that.
was Kiku just hiding the fact that she's from the past?
I want to say something about Kiko a bit. But Froob should go first and say something if he wants
No,
to.
I mean, you can go because what I'm about to say is kind of like headcanon-y, and I just want to save that for fucking later or after you speak, I guess.
Yeah, so far in the series, Kiko has been very traditional. She has been kind of indecisive in terms of how she view fighting. I think it makes sense now, seeing that Kinemon is her master. I don't know if you remember in Punk Hazard, but Kinemon is misogynistic. He believes a woman should be covered up because he told Nami that, hey, cover up. So it would make sense that those ideals that she adapts came from Kinemon.
Well, think about the time, the time that they came from.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So she might indeed be skilled, but it's a mental block of traditionalist thing that she can't overcome. And because a master enforce that as well. And it seems like Kinemon might be something more than a master. He might be a side man, he might be lacing it up.
A side man.
But it's definitely interested in the fact that
how is she fundamentally different from Tashigi? How?
Well, Tashigi is more of a Tashigi to me is more of what I call a feminist in a sense. She had this false sense of superiority over most women. She's not really that strong, but her idea though.
Okay, fair.
Because if you remember, she has a dream to take up. Go on.
Nah, go ahead. What were you saying?
I don't know if you guys remember, but one of her goals is to actually take by the water Ichimonji from Zoro.
Yes.
That's one of her dreams. So she do in a sense are independent in her ideals, but she has this idea that she's that strong and nah.
I mean, she does question her strength at times. Where she,
I mean,
you know what I mean? Where
but
she,
to Zoro, where
where she doubts herself. Where Smoker at times had to pick her up, like let her know, like, yo, you can, you can overcome this and make your own decisions. But, like I said, I feel like Kiku has more of a mental block to overcome than Tashigi.
Yes, and I do believe in the flip side, she also have more strength as well. Luffy only commends someone being strong.
Yeah, but
when he does, he does as a
that's
validity.
one thing I'm actually interested in about like the whole Kinemon and all that is like, are these guys actually strong? Because my gut feeling is that I don't think they are.
I think they are.
I think they're skilled, not strong.
No, based on the portrayal, they should be strong.
I think they're going to be great support
characters. Based on the portrayal.
When Pika, I mean, it's hard to compare fucking like when you're comparing Zoro to these characters. I mean, it's probably not a good comparison, but like when Pika cut down, or when Pika was like raining havoc on everyone, and like Zoro pretty much saved everyone on like that little plateau from Pika, like Kinemon and Raizo were, or not Raizo, Kanjuro were just fucking shitting their pants. Like they couldn't do a single fucking thing about it, and like Zoro is just like, I mean, essentially not. I don't want to use the word casually too lightly, but essentially casually just fucking cutting Pika in half. It's like, I mean, couldn't they have like done anything? Like, I don't know. We'll have to see.
The idea that Oda might be saving their combat characterization for now, where they probably could help, but Oda is saving the mystery of what they can do in this arc.
Right. But if it comes out that like fucking Kanjuro is like just as strong as Zoro or something, I'm be like, all right, where was this hiding? Like,
yeah, it's but they're retainers though. They're supposed to be the strongest men to the. It's supposed to be the strongest men to the Dynamo.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if they are strong. At most, they might be commander level. That's at most, but I do think they're fairly formable. I'll say that.
Yeah, we'll see. I definitely think they're gonna come up with some techniques that are gonna be interesting.
Yes, I do believe that as well.
I saw Joe Boy put on Twitter yesterday about the teacher. of the students as regard
Her neck?
as far as is she a Smile user or is she another combatant we should worry about? I think she's a Smile user. What do you guys think?
I think she's a small
Yeah,
user
she's
as
probably
well.
a small user.
Yeah,
I mean, if we want to get into it, it's definitely possible that like Kaido's going full out like fucking crazy on these people to where he's like completely brainwashed the society, and he's like putting his own users in terms in the education system and shit like that, which
Yeah.
would be pretty nuts. I don't know if Oda's gonna go that route, but that'd be really interesting.
it would.
If he did.
I don't know if you guys remember when I pointed out a while back where it kind of implies that Kaido deliberately created the economic situation that was going
Right,
on. Left over
exactly.
town. It could be possible that he's indeed manufacturing this.
Yeah. But I don't
Um,
know what the fucking reason would be, but
I'm sure there's reason for it. It's something that I remember we had talked about this before, and it's something that kind of tied it in. I mean, I remember it later. But we get to what do you guys think about? Okay, this is different.
Orochi?
And in the Viz, it said, well, not in the Viz, on Jamin's box, it said Imeri Koyoshiro. On the Viz, it says Napping Koyoshiro.
Yes.
Any thoughts on
but before we get to
Koyoshiro?
that,
But go ahead, yeah.
before we get to that, Brago, I find it very weird. On the Viz said Orochi have the two sides. It's supposed to be two sword star, right?
Well, someone is saying it was mistranslation.
Yes, because manga stream say he has a two place.
Yeah.
And no, this is saying he has the two sides. But Jaimin's box says two swords.
Orochi the two-sided. So that
I mean-
that's definitely a hint towards the devil.
Yes, it's definitely it's weird.
I
So
think
that would,
you know what I think?
Hmm.
I think he could be a two-headed dragon.
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because typically we've gotten this before, as far as like we get like hints about somebody, and then it's like it
Yes.
come out like, oh, okay, now this makes sense. You know, where we
But
assume
you
it was
assume
like
by
the
the
sword
motion
style.
of the occasional sword, it kind of implies that he uses two sword style.
That's what it is implied because he has the
Translation
the
is-
two rulers.
Yeah, it's the two rulers exactly, but it says two sided.
Yeah,
Well, I will. Yeah, we see.
we'll
We
see.
see
ah shit.
going forward.
Grim
Um,
doesn't have to fucking.
yeah, that's something I'm gonna start doing for. I'm gonna start having a Viz in the Discord because I feel like that's something smart to do.
But wait, yeah, sorry, I wasn't paying. It was kind of rude of me, but I wasn't paying attention. It says two side style,
Yeah.
like SIDE.
Nah, it just says
Oh, you just-
Orochi the two-sided.
Two sided.
Fuck, that doesn't.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He doesn't.
yeah, it's two-sided. It's like two.
The manga stream version is also weird. The manga stream said two places.
Yeah, it's weird and interesting at the same time. I like it.
Yes.
You know, sometimes I like the vague shit in One Piece because it leads to speculation, it leads to different things we can talk
Yes,
about.
leads to death by cancer.
Yeah, it's one of the strengths of One Piece. Koyoshiro. Any thoughts on him?
Nappy.
Napping
I mean,
Koyoshiro.
Yeah, he's definitely like an interesting character. I think he's gonna be important to like a certain extent. I don't think he's gonna be like super important, but I definitely think he's probably one of the stronger people in like what's his name's crew? Like
Orochi?
yeah, Roshi's crew.
Yeah.
Well, not crew, but you get what I mean.
He seemed
But
like he's
I-
nonchalant strong. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, he seems like
Yes.
he is probably going to be a matchup for like one of the samurais, so like Kinemon or Kanjuro or something like that. I could definitely see that.
I
so
think its presence kind of confirmed what I wanted. That there are indeed an organization for the Shogun, independent of Kaido.
100%.
Where the Shogun had his own fractions.
Yeah. I'd assume the same thing. I would say I've been saying this. Is any relation to Koshiro here?
I don't know.
I don't know about that one. But I would say about napping though, he's quite outspoken because he said that the Shogun's a coward.
Well, I think this guy could be one of his guards, right?
Yes,
Where-
I do believe that.
where
He's
he
very
has
outspoken.
he has a relationship with him, right? Where he's making fun of him, where he's like, because how I take this is like he's like, don't be a wimp. So what if anyone hears it's only the truth, right? And then he went into kind of
Yeah.
mimicking it, like on a moonlit night, 20 years later, 9 samurai ghosts will emerge to kill you and fulfill their vengeance. You know, I feel like he does that a lot to
Yeah.
the Shogun, where I can tell he probably has a relationship close to him. That's why he's joking about it like that.
Yeah, it's definitely either showing that that dude's strong, or just in general that the Shogun is kind of like a bitch. Like, it's like
That's what I
that's
don't want though, Froob. I don't want that. Like any implication of Shogun being weak, I don't like.
I mean, again,
I would like him to be strong.
I don't really care if he's weak or not. Like I explained in Brago stream, because even if he is weak, he's gonna have a super strong subordinate that's gonna like fill that
Well,
role. Like
I hope
take
so.
take Water 7 for example, right? So like
Ravolucci,
say
yeah.
yeah. So say fucking Shogun is basically like a Spandam, and he's gonna have a Rob Lucci. So it's like
Oh yeah,
it doesn't matter.
I mean, I think,
I know
yeah.
those. I know these two things are kind of, I would say, kind of independent. But I like when people have the power to back up the ideology. I do like that.
Yeah.
When they can enforce their own rules.
Yeah.
Gives them that hint of them being seen in a different light.
I mean, with this guy, I kind of got Dofi vibes from him.
Yes,
where
he's very
he's nonchalant, but it's like he's like,
Yeah,
I would love to see that one play out. Where he kind of wants to see it happen.
Yeah, he's like a little bit. He's a little bit chaotic.
Yeah. Where he's like laughing at it. And he's like, I want to see that play out. Where it's like, he's just bored. You know, it's like one of those dudes that just again likes chaos and maybe really strong, but that's yet to be seen.
Like not to put the fucking Zoro jerk fucking session on, but like.
No, go on.
I hope that there's more like characters like that, because like seeing a fight between Zoro and a character like that is just gonna be fucking epic. It's just like two fucking like badasses. Like
that'd be really
cool.
dope.
That would be.
Jump to the end with Sanji. We meet up with the other Straw Hats, and we find out that Sanji, he retrieved Luffy's giver card from the bottom of the sea. Feet.
That was a wasted opportunity, bro.
How?
What Oda could have done with that would have been so incredible.
Have a Calamity find it?
Absolutely. Plus the idea of Sanji and the group achieving nothing off screen.
Well, we're assuming they didn't, right?
Yeah, we're assuming. Yeah, but it's kind of implied that the only reason why Luffy got separated was just because he wanted that individualistic ideal to find Tama and them creating this union.
Yeah, I mean,
based off them knowing Ace.
I understand that criticism. I'm not necessarily going to say it's wrong, but
it's too soon.
At the same time, would you really want to have like a 4-chapter tangent following fucking like Brook and Sanji, where it's like
you'd have to
he's chasing around some fucking samurai girl, and fucking Brook's like, oh, let me see your panties.
It would have extended the chat. It would have dragged things out.
Hold on, Froob. I believe Froob have no faith in the fact that there can be no interest in plot revolving around Sanji.
It's not. It's not just about Sanji. I think he's looking at the fact that you'd have to incorporate like 6 other characters in this, in like Luffy and Tama, Luffy and Otsuru, everything with the samurai. It's like it would have made things so much more complicated. We'd still be back with Otsuru. Because, you know, like how the Straw Hats are, we'd have to like incorporate different gags. It would have to been like, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, I don't mind this.
More characterization.
Yeah, it's just, it would have taken a long time as far as like, and then we don't even know what came about from them not being with Luffy, right?
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Like if they were to do something, you would have to flesh out that like plot line. Like how Oda fleshed out the plot line with Luffy and Zoro. Like you'd have to flesh it out with them if you wanted to say that something happened while they were separated.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not necessarily. I am pessimistic about that, like you said. But at the same time, it's just like I don't want to spend time like fleshing out, even though it might make up at the end. I don't want to spend time fleshing out all these like small plot points really more than we have to. I think the pace that we're at right now is perfect. I mean, in my opinion, it's perfect.
People listen to chapter comes out Thursday tonight. That's interesting.
Yes, but spoilers already out.
Okay,
really?
So let's
going back a page.
Go ahead.
Right, we gotta go back a page, bro. Zoro, I don't even know anymore, bro.
What? He wandered off?
It's either Oda is definitely setting something up or Zoro is a retard. There's no way you can justify Zoro getting lost riding a dog.
Wait, Zoro's a retard. I mean, it's like in terms of that, like Zoro's like Genuinely retarded.
Brago, you wrote it down before and it didn't get lost, but no, you got
But
lost.
what was funny is Luffy's like amazing. He can even get lost riding a dog.
Exactly, bro. Like
That's funny. That is hilarious.
Oda has to really see a plot line where he needs to get Zoro in a certain spot.
It's just a
Or
thing.
else-
Yeah, I mean, it's just a
No,
thing you can use.
like, That's ridiculous, bro.
That Zoro gets lost?
It's a gag. It is
my
ridiculous.
God.
I don't think it's that ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
I
Remember
just
the
read
dog,
something-
bro.
I just read some of the spoilers. I need to stop myself so we can finish this so I don't say anything dumb.
Hey, okay, like,
Oh,
just
shit.
say, is it good?
Oh,
I can't really say it. Yes, it's positive. I'll say that.
Okay, all right.
Spoiler. Is Zero
I
mentioned?
can't say much. I can't. I don't want to say much about it because I don't
Okay.
want to spoil. But it's definitely positive.
Okay, cool. So I'll say this real quick. So we got to wrap this up because I want to get this out today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I read like 2 lines. I stopped reading because I didn't want to finish.
This chapter, or what we found out about them crossing through time, because it said, and Viz says,
Yes.
as a matter of fact, we crossed through time to arrive here from Wano of 20 years ago, which for me that implies portal, in some way. But based on the community's reaction to this chapter, the word that comes to mind now in hindsight, and even now, is conjecture.
Explain that a little bit more.
So, what is conjecture? An opinion or conclusion formed on the basis of incomplete information.
Right. Okay.
Well, yeah, secrets are being held, but of course,
But
house truths.
people are forming conclusions from what
Oh,
Kinemon said about this
Yes,
entire
I agree.
concept.
I watched your last stream where Drizzt was so pessimistic. I mean,
I mean,
That's
try to
stress in
understand.
general, but I mean, my
You
whole
try
thing
to
is
understand.
like I understand your concerns because you're thinking like, okay, this is like if I want to feel man their position, it's like, okay, time travel in a series is like not a good thing to bring up because then you get to fucking weird situations where, like, when this came out, I don't know how much you were trolling, how much you're being serious, but when the chapter came out, Brago was thinking like, oh, like we have to question everything. Was like Shanks time traveling,
Yeah.
or was
No,
this
no,
part of this time travel? Like, was this person here time traveling? Or you can even go as far as fucking pie and say that fucking Roger is still
Roger's
alive.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I forgot about that. I forgot about that, Froob.
But yeah, so like I understand. I understand.
Hmm.
Hold on, let me finish. I understand
Yeah.
like why people are like scared because they don't want like fucking dumb shit like that to happen. But at the same time, you gotta like set it up. Like I could easily see a situation like the one thing that was brought up was like maybe it's a thing like Lost Fruit where you have to sacrifice yourself for it to work. I
Yes.
mean,
Yeah.
we're just gonna have to wait and see. Like, if that's the case, then maybe it's only been used 2 or 3 times to the point where it's not that big of a deal.
My
So,
thing
like,
is people are drawing conclusions from other series and saying, hey, this series and Shonen typically
Yes.
mess it up, so that means it's
Right.
wrong. But the thing is, how you can prove this conjecture wrong is that if you have one example of it being done right, then that conjecture is false. And we have series in which time travel has been done right and has
Yeah, I
still
mean, it
been
depends,
entertaining.
like-
So it's just like we have to let it play out.
even though the whole
Bro,
fucking
here's an
Cell
issue
saga
again.
in Dragon Ball Z was kind of like,
It was weird, but they were going
it was
back and
kind of
forth.
bad in terms of plot. Like, it didn't make sense, but it was still a fucking amazing arc.
Yeah.
Like everything.
It was
else
interesting.
considered. Like that was one of my favorite. I think the Cell saga is probably one of some of people's favorite arc. Like that was great. So,
Yeah, but
I mean,
in Time Travel, in the show with Katekyo Hitman Reborn, we had that, and I think it was done brilliantly in that. In which, like, for instance, in to compare it, we went to the future. Like say it's in One Piece, we would go to the future, but you never see Luffy.
yeah, exactly. That's
You
the
see what I'm
thing.
saying?
So like,
You never see Luffy. That's how Katekyo Hitman Reborn did it. You saw some of his subordinates and people around him, but you never ever see Luffy. But Luffy traveled into the future, but you never saw like the future Luffy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's the thing. That's where time travel shit gets into like kind of like shitty territory to where you can't really explain it.
Yeah.
Is when the person like it happens a lot when you go into the past, right? Where the
Mhm.
person goes in the past
And they meet
and
their,
like
their
and they meet their it's weird
it
shit that
messes
happens
things
that
up.
happens.
It just makes
Yeah.
it weird.
Yeah. So I don't know. Have you guys seen Steins Gate?
I haven't. That's one I want to watch now because people have mentioned it since the time travel stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I don't want to spoil anything, but like there's some fucking crazy shit that goes on in that series. That's like I don't think anything like that is gonna happen.
Okay. What were you saying, Lando?
In regards to the fundamentals, I think people are drawing too many conclusions.
I
People are
also
drawing
want to
too
point
many
out.
conclusions.
Sorry, can I interrupt you just for 2 seconds, really quick?
No
I also-
problem, man.
I just want to point out that I don't think many people, like, if I had to guess, just from my understanding, it's probably
Yeah.
like 90% praise, 10% people shitting on the chapter. Like,
Oh, sorry, probably just
yeah, the only people I really
the
saw
10%.
shitting on the chapter was like, I mean, I hate to like fucking bring up the name, but it was like just Dustin and a few of like his friends in like that call, and maybe some people in the Discord. But like in general, I think that most people like the chapter.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, that was just a loud minority. I don't think it was. It wasn't. A lot of people were wait and see. They're like, you know what? We'll just wait and see what Oda
Exactly.
does. Right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I just wanted to make the point that like we have to be careful. Like it's not like it was like converse. Like
No.
everyone thought like
it wasn't.
trash.
It wasn't. It
Yeah.
wasn't. That was the loud minority. You know, sometimes that
Go
can
ahead, Lando.
overpower.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think people are assuming so many stuff, like the motive behind this. Well, why didn't they go back 1 year in time? Why didn't they go back 2
Yeah.
years or forward 1 year? Like
Yeah.
the method have not been exposed yet. Plus, we have no idea the rationales behind the reason why they choose 20 years in the future.
Right.
We don't know yet.
I mean, people are giving Oda no chance to explain this.
Whole cake was trash.
And the thing is like it had to like we know Oda writes on the fly, but we don't know to what extent this was written on the fly. Like I'm assuming that he probably had this whole thing
Yes,
planned out since
Yes, he planned it
Kanjo and since Kinemon and Momonosuke were even introduced. At the very
Even
least,
if
he had
he
planned out
didn't-
since so because or else it wouldn't make any fucking sense.
even if he did it, he still deserved time to properly see what's going on first.
Yeah, but the
People
thing is,
have
a lot of people are afraid, and I guess rightfully so. But a lot of people are afraid that Oda's like kind of like just making this up off the fly, and like he doesn't
Is
have
it because
like,
of a track record?
yeah,
so
because
far,
like
like,
we
okay,
know
Kyla?
that he does that sometimes, where he kind of just makes shit up off the fly that he like sounds good, like just like in that arc. But I don't think that's what this is.
Mhm.
I think this is definitely.
I don't
planned
think that as
out.
well. I think what's gonna make or break this is the rationale behind it. If
Right.
they choose 20 years into the future just because Luffy's gonna be there, that'd be ridiculous. But in my opinion, I think it makes sense if they choose 20 years into the future, if they assume that 20 years, the language and the linguistic of the country is going to change, or people are going to be more open and more progressive, where more people might be on their side, open the borders. That will make sense in my opinion.
I don't know. There's a bunch of fucking things that can go into it. Like the two things that I'm thinking of are one, the 20 years into the future thing. Like some people ask why 20. It could have just been like
that's the big.
it could have just been like random, or to the point where like she couldn't control it. So it's just like she sent them somewhere forward to get them safe, but she didn't have any control over it.
Because remember, like this was at a
Yes.
time where it's like it was an emergency. Like she had to.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So
What is the reality though?
There might not be a
It kinda
reason behind
seems
it. But I think that there probably is a reason because of how the whole fucking moon shit that was.
Yeah, she's very selective in the time on the nine shadows and all that. I think this is what make or break it. Like, if there's a good reason for 20 years, then I think it would be great. This along with the method, which she does it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, the
premonition.
way it's
Yes.
looking now, it seems like we're gonna get into some like fucking
Some
Naruto prophecy shit.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's where it
god,
looks
that's
like it's going.
exactly
Yeah,
that's what I don't want.
That's what I'm worried about personally. I don't care about the time travel shit. I'm just worried about like the fucking Naruto prophecy shit because
The implementation that it might be affected to Luffy. Luffy
yeah,
might be
I
the
do
reason why
think-
20 years is a time frame.
Yeah, I do think that a whole 9 samurai thing could be the 9 straw hats. Like I definitely do think that.
Oh my god.
That could be.
I'm not
the
saying
case.
I would like it, but I'm just saying strictly from a prediction standpoint, I think that's very possible.
Absolutely.
Yes, but if you count Jinbei, is that 10?
I mean,
Jinbei's not
fucking-
there. He's dead.
Jinbei's
so.
dead right now. Yeah.
Wait, say he's fish food?
He's fish food right now, so that doesn't matter.
Yo, Brago, what happened to your your Jinbei thing? I haven't seen your channel anymore.
What, Jimbo?
You took it down?
What?
Yeah, the sketch you had, man.
Which one? Oh no, it's still there.
The one where Jinbei.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely
I
still
gotta
there.
go watch it.
Yeah.
I laugh at that shit every day, bro.
Yeah, people.
But anyway, but
Yeah, people mentioned when I made my last video, like I should make more scenarios with the Straw Hats.
yeah, that was crazy.
How Luffy really felt about
I
Jimmy's
think
plans.
many people are giving Oda a hard time here. Okay, Oda didn't fulfill certain expectations in All Cake, sure,
Yeah.
but we still need to give him time to explain this.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I understand people being apprehensive, but at the same time, like, because like I say, I'm gonna keep saying this forever. Like, I think a lot of the thing, people kind of like lost a little bit of trust in Oda because of Whole Cake Island and how a lot of things
Yes,
played out. To the point where
yes,
they're just assuming that everything he's gonna do from now on is gonna kind of be shitty. But I
yeah.
don't want to do that because I kind of think that this arc, at least in the very least, is gonna be different. Like, I can't imagine this arc playing out like Whole Cake.
If there's one arc where Oda actually put some planning,
Right.
put some plan into, it would be this. It would be this.
But you can even make an argument that Oda might have not planned for Whole Cake to even be that.
Yes, you can definitely argue that.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think the message here is just like, let's wait and see. And of course, this chapter is coming out early this week. I don't mind the chapter coming out early. It just throws everything off for me personally.
Yeah, I
mean,
love
it's more.
I miss
Cause I mean, like,
Thursday
what's it?
schedule.
It's dropping Thursday or Friday morning, right? So I'm gonna be driving down to New York Thursday.
Oh yeah.
No, actually no. So it actually works out this time because I'm be driving down Thursday night, Friday morning. So
wait, so how long are you staying there?
You live in DC, right?
Yeah, I'm coming back Monday. I'm coming
long
back
is the drive?
Sunday. It's like 3.5, 4 hours.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I'm coming. I'm
Okay,
going
so who's
down
walking
there.
and
Huh?
I know someone is walking. I don't know who's walking. Is it Brago?
No,
I know this is someone is walking.
no,
there.
we're saying if
Probably
Virgo
walking
left,
down.
if he left 2 days ago, he'd probably get there in time.
Probably get there.
But
He's one of the best.
he said
one
he's
of the best.
catching a plane or something. But I know
He's
Steve
walking.
was catching a plane. Laz catching a plane, obviously. Dustin catching a plane.
Steve was coming?
Yeah, Laz, Steve, Dustin, Trent, BDV, Virgo.
How do you guys think?
Yeah, should be an interesting time.
How
So
do you guys? Vlog. I'd advise that.
I'm sure they already have that planned, right?
yeah, Laz plans on vlogging. I was thinking about vlogging, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean, the thing about
that
vlogging
goes
is like
into your 30-day stuff.
it can kind of ruin your experience if you're like just thinking about like recording the entire time. But at the same time, it's gonna be
Yes.
good to, record that for the fucking memories and the memes and shit like that.
Yeah,
The memes.
yeah,
The
yeah.
memes.
Yeah, I mean,
Or someone called memes memes.
like I said, I'm gonna see how it goes. I know like people had like plans about different stuff that they want to do, and I'm just like, hey, I'm just rolling with it, you know.
So wait, is King of Lightning coming as well? Because in New York, right?
He's in New York. I'm not sure if he's pulling up. He said I remember I talked to him a while ago. He said he was gonna be there. But we'll see.
That would be
We'll see.
legendary, dude. If you can get King, you should push him a little bit into it. See if you.
I'm a DM him ask him
about
like, yo, are you going to
Yeah.
are you gonna go be at the con? That'd be dope.
Yeah, be like, yo, you free this weekend? Let's
Yeah,
set
pull
something
up.
up.
Because we're gonna
So,
have
Brad, what's the first thing
discussions.
gonna meet anyone?
Yeah, this is the first time I meet these niggas. I don't know these. Yeah, this is the
I don't
first
know.
time. I don't know these niggas.
Do you have any expectations, like in terms of what you expect Dustin to be like?
Not really. I mean, the thing is, it's like, you know how people are. People are in real life are kind of sometimes different than how they are on the internet. So I expect people to be kind of laid back, you know, just be chill, and it'll take some time to kind of, get into it, where it may need an icebreaker or something. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't have any.
What are you gonna say? Like,
I mean, because I'm arriving. I'm gonna be like, because I'm getting there like 6th, I think, right? So my thing was gonna be like the entire weekend. Be like Zora, be like, yo, you can't talk to me when you arrive 7th. Like,
yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm number one.
I'm number one. I got here first. But I mean, like I said,
Brago, be careful though, bro, because you're married, so.
Oh nobody. It should be no funny stuff. Everybody there is just going down. I mean,
Okay.
it should be anything like that. I mean, I don't know how many of these dudes are gonna be bringing back chicks to the crib. Like, I don't,
Zero.
I don't know. That's not. I don't think that's the purpose of them going down there. So, we'll see. We'll definitely see. I plan on having a good time. I may vlog.
You should.
It's just I just like I have a camera, but as far as like doing all that, I don't know.
I think it adds to your eternity stuff you're trying to do. Gives you more content.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely content. Like I said, the 30-day thing, stuff I can upload. We're definitely having a discussion. I'm taking my laptop down there to have a discussion, an IRL discussion with some of these dudes.
In real life.
So that should be interesting. I remember I told everybody make sure they bring a toothbrush and deodorant because, you know, you know what I'm saying? We gotta be on point. You know what I mean? So I'm excited. It should be a good time. And this may be an annual thing for me going to.
Oh, really?
Going to like a different.
Oh boy.
A different.
I wish I could come next year, cause yeah, I wish I could.
We're saying we may like hit a con in different parts of the country every year, right? So this time is New York. We may do LA next year. The next year maybe San Diego and then Houston. Maybe even
You
do.
gotta go to the shy, dog.
Maybe there's a con in Chicago. I don't know.
Ah,
That may be the
I don't
only.
know, I
That
think
may be
so,
the only
right?
place we skip.
Oh shit.
Oh
What the
Christ! Swordside Chicago
fuck? Trying to do a fucking drive-by or something?
Yeah, that's like. You know what I mean?
on the old block.
Old block. Be like Takashi. Be like, yo, ain't nobody out here. Where y'all at? Yo, Lando, you
God,
Lando, you good?
You're going.
It's not like you just went for a jog or some shit.
No, bro,
Good
I'm
night,
lying
good
down. I'm laying
Oh, you
down.
just laid down.
Whatever the fuck
Yeah.
you just did, don't
Yeah,
do that
Yeah,
again.
that shit was wild.
But
no.
I'm tired, bro. Like I'm drained.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get this up tonight, or probably it's gonna take a while to kind of combine.
No,
the
you're
two.
not.
No, I'm
you're
gonna
not.
set it up to like be rendering tonight,
Okay.
so that in the morning I can upload it. Because I'm gonna add the 916 or 917 to it, so maybe
Whatever
like,
you do, bro, there's some separate category stuff I've got.
I may
cannot
separate
take-
that and upload it, and I'll have it to
Yeah.
upload like Friday or something.
Yes, I cannot take another dragon, bro.
I may do that
Trust me.
because that was an interesting conversation.
I don't know. Yeah. Yes.
But I appreciate y'all coming through. This was good. Typically we got Drizzt. You know, Drizzt had to turn in early this week. One time we had Matt B.
One time.
One time we had Matt B. But he's always dope. I want to try to do them earlier though, like Monday for sure.
Oh, Drizzt wasn't here, right?
No, Drizzt wasn't.
Yeah.
Drizzt wasn't here.
Yeah. I just realized that. Yeah.
Monday for sure to kind of just get it out early. But these always dope. I appreciate you guys coming.
Yeah. Monday's way
Smart.
better for me.
Yeah.
It's my birthday, by the way, bro.
Yo, happy birthday again, Lando. 21. Any plans?
Sing me as any plans? Well, in the next 4 years, and they'll all just be nice.
No, boy. Nah, nigga. Like today. Any plans for
will
today?
I have a test in about 4 hours?
Any fun plans?
Nope.
Nothing? You ain't going out? You ain't like
Nothing, bro. Like
about to pull up on a shorty or something?
Bro, I live in a basement. Go to university, bro. I have no life.
You about to call somebody over or something? Like
I got my hand middle, sure.
you what?
Got my hand middle.
Alright.
I don't know what that means.
Alright, man.
I got my hand middle. I mean, I'm gonna fuck it off, bro.
Do your thing, bro. Do your thing. Shout out to Lando. Shout out to Froob. Appreciate you guys coming through again. Chapter is dropping early, so tomorrow or yeah.
One more thing, bro.
Tomorrow. Yep.
For all those guys who call me a Zoro fanboy,
Bro,
actually, I
can
made
you
a
just
video-
embrace it already, man?
You absolutely are.
No, I'm not. I made a video defending Sanji this past.
That was
week.
just
Like,
that was just
no.
like,
That was just so.
that was just
Listen, man.
yeah. That was just trying to shut him up.
Listen, man, I'm not a racist. My friends are black.
Yeah, I just went to the Black Lives Matter rally. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Nah, B.
No,
nah,
seriously,
B.
I'm not a Zoro fanboy, bro. Believe me.
Oh my god.
Believe me, I made a video exponentially discussing Sanji, how amazing
Wow,
Sanji's
see.
character is.
You just need to embrace it, dog. I label myself as a fucking Zoro fanboy as well.
I'm a Katakuri fanboy, sure, but not Zoro fan.
I mean, I don't think there's anything
Top
wrong
2
with being
characters
a-
in the series: Zoro, Law, and Katakuri.
I think the thing is,
Yeah.
I think the thing is because I know Ty had this way of thinking, right? In which, if you're a fan
Yeah.
of somebody, you can't objectively talk about this person. So Ty would deny being a fan of somebody. He would deny being a fan of somebody, so that he can like, he'd be like, no, you're a fan of this person, so whatever you say, it's not credible. Where it's like you can be a
I
fan.
agree.
I mean, to a certain extent, right? But you could
Biased, but like there's like harder and harder fanboys. Like that's how I determine how hard of a fanboy you are, is how fucking biased you are when you argue.
Right. So it's like, for me, like Doflamingo. Like I try to turn off my fanboy lens when I'm talking about Dofi. So it's like in situations where we're talking about Dofi and strength feats, I let other people kind of like chime in and like, okay, well, I agree with that, instead of giving my thoughts first on Doflamingo, because I think Dofi is amazing.
Tuned over, I think.
Bro, that's
Yeah.
Oh, another thing is, man, fuck, dude, I don't want to say this because we were about to end this
Just say
thing,
it.
but like
Say it, bro. Say it.
that Katakuri Dofi shit is like.
No, that's ridiculous. No.
Oh, you've been reading it?
No,
Katakuri.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like how people like there was like I came on your stream for like 5 seconds, people arguing. I don't actually know anything about the manga, or the story or whatever.
Yeah. The Arthur's making.
Because I didn't read it or anything.
Yeah.
But in general, just the argument that some people genuinely think that Doflamingo would be okay. If you think Doflamingo would beat Katakuri, you're fucking insane. I could understand the argument to where
you're
he
insane.
can push him to a high diff fight.
Yeah, you're insane.
But anything else than that is like.
Yeah, Dofi's not being category, and this is coming from.
I think Dofi and Cracker's a good fight.
I think as far as like, yeah, it would be a good fight. It'd be a good fight.
Yeah, I think that would be.
It'd be a good fight. I think Dofi's a better combatant, but Cracker probably has better,
Yes.
overall like strength and like.
Yeah, it's been a portrayal. It's a commander.
Yeah. But I think as a combatant, Doflamingo is like way more versatile and smarter.
Yeah.
So
The only thing that I can say that Doflamingo probably has over Katakuri is durability.
Just I mean, and it's tough because it's hard. It's hard because Dofi fought Luffy for 35 minutes, and Katakuri fought for 12 hours. And I mean, but the thing is, Luffy apparently wasn't in Katakuri the entire time, and then it's weird. It's weird. But like the video, subscribe. We catch you guys in like probably less than 24 hours.